Cloudy skies, 70 on Wednesday. Christmas Eve, 59 for the overnight low. Thursday, Christmas Day, sunny with record heat, 74 for the high. The record, 71 from 1889. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to get ready for cold weather and schedule your heating system check. Get not just your heating system, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the preferred partner plan. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Happy Monday. We are excited to be with you here on a Christmas week. It's finally here, and I assume that there's probably... What percentage of our audience do you think is not at work today when they normally are? I think we speak to some retirees, so it's just another glorious day off of not working for you people.
Where you got to check and see. Is today Monday? Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. Don't you hate that?
Well,
when you go, you're all of our parents are retired, right?
Yes.
When they're like, oh, what day is it?
You know
all
what?
right.
No, I understand it, though. I do understand it. So I feel for you, because if you get lost in those days, it's like you got to have something throughout the week to mark the days. Otherwise, you get lost in it. Yeah, yes. Church, that's probably good.
Have we been to church recently? Then it gets to be Advent, and you're like, I don't even know what way is up. Ooh. I'm kind of in the what year is it phase of my life.
Well, yeah, me too.
That's the hardest thing for me to remember.
Actually, I keep going, is it 2026 or 24? And I'm wrong on both accounts.
You're about to be right half the time.
Yeah.
So over the weekend, we've been watching AmFest. I think it goes through today. Do you pay attention to America Fest? It's the Turning Point USA Charlie Kirk baby that he created, and it's always been pretty phenomenal. I almost went last year, and I didn't decide to pull it off. It just felt not right to do to my family at this point in time next to Christmas.
It's become the premier conservative event. I mean, I think it already was even before Charlie Kirk's assassination, but now it's the one.
Basically non-deep state CPAC, and that's what I think Turning Point would say it is.
Yeah, which is great. I love that.
Do you have a problem with CPAC?
I don't love it.
Really?
I don't love. I love some of the things they do, but ever since Vivek Ramaswamy came out and said that they were pay to play for their polls, I've been like, okay, yeah. I see how this rolls.
You a Vivek fan?
I am a Vivek Ramaswamy fan. I would love to see him be the governor of Ohio.
Well, obviously, compared to the alternative, I really appreciate what CPAC is doing this year in the sense that they haven't chosen a lane.
Good for them.
Tucker Carlson, like the people who they have speaking at this America Fest this year are talking crap on each other on the stage in front of everybody. And there are times where I will say openly, like, I do respect Tucker Carlson's right to have his own opinion in a First Amendment country where anybody has the right to boldly be wrong. But I as supportive as I was for Tucker when he was let go of Fox News, I have not stayed on the Tucker train.
I haven't really, but a lot of it's just out of time. Like, how much time do you have?
Yeah, but I mean,
to pay attention.
But the Tucker question is very much so one that is based on ideology. Like, where he has taken his influence is not where I felt like it was going when he was on Fox. Now, maybe he was boxed in because of Fox. He often says that he certainly was, that there were things that you could and couldn't do when he was at Fox. His view is this is how I'm going to position my thoughts. Also, do I have a cut sheet? Can I get a cut sheet? Tucker's views are one thing. His presentation is something entirely different. Now, when he was doing it on Fox, I don't really think the presentation has really changed a whole lot. He's always kind of presented himself. He says a lot of, he makes a lot of big bold points, and then he finishes it with obviously, and it's like, okay, yes sir. not that you obviously submit, obviously. What I just did there, that's what he does. Obviously, like just an insertion of obviously in the middle when he's saying something that is a bit bold and a bit, questionable as to whether or not you know that to be entirely true. A lot of times it's something that I probably believe or that he believes, but there's still a little more proof that maybe needs to be put out there in order to boldly make that opinion out there. And then I think on Fox, I a lot of times assumed that he knew things that I didn't know. So if I had believed a particular thing and just kind of held fast to a belief, which the one going back and forth right now in all of the little conservative, not little, I'm belittling, I don't mean that, because these are all people who are infinitely bigger than I am publicly. In the are you for Israel or are you against Israel? Is Israel for America or against America? That's kind of the debate that goes on behind the scenes. I would presume that somebody like Tucker Carlson, when he's on primetime at Fox, is privy to an enormous amount of conversations that he doesn't bring to the air, but he has a much clearer picture of what is going on in any given point in time than I do. And I know this because when I do what I do on a much smaller scale, I have a picture of what's going on, and I don't bring to the air every single conversation or off the record, conversation, that I have. But I know people will tell me things the people will set the tone and the mood for me. And when I hear that in individual conversations, like columned conversations that don't intersect, it's not a group discussion. I have a conversation with a legislator here. I have a conversation with somebody who's of influence over there. And those stories work at the same time together, but are separate conversations. I start to get a bigger picture of probably what's going on. And so I always assumed Tucker was doing that. But his presentation of facts and the way he does it that are obvious facts, I took with more confidence when he was on Fox than I do right now. So I don't know if it's just a me thing. If it did I give him too much credence when he was on Fox and not enough now? Or should I be giving him more now than I don't really understand where I need to be on this issue. But the question really is Israel for us or against us? And I presume that if you are in another country and you are asking yourself, is America for us or against us? We can answer that right now in America to say, America's for America. America isn't for America, then we're not America first. And if America isn't for the growth and preservation of our own sovereignty, our own country, our own people, then there has to be something else that we're for. And who gets to make that decision? And I think that for a long time, that's what the deep state, the impervious democracy, deep state, non-democracy representation that we've had globally, that's been what America has been for in this preceding of events that goes into, no, we definitely want to make America great again. And we want America to be America's first thought. America might be best served in helping certain foreign countries do certain things. But the intent and the purpose behind helping any foreign country do a certain type of thing has to ultimately benefit America. We don't just go out across the globe and charitably or even willy-nilly go help these countries because we're just really great people. And those people are no less important than Americans. So we have an obligation to them as much as we have an obligation to those in America. In fact, you might even argue that we have a bigger obligation to these other countries that might not be as wealthy as we are, as blessed as we are. We actually should set aside Americans in order to help these foreign countries who are less fortunate than us. That's kind of been the public-facing explanation for deep state actions that may not always benefit America for the purposes of benefiting other people. But the truth of that is, that's a bullcrap lie that was sold to the American people when the American people got agitated enough to ask the question to garner a response like that. When the reality was, those types of actions that on our end of things don't really look like this is not really what's in the best interest of the American people. And we're told to sit down and shut up because Americans have a lot of explaining to do and forgiveness to ask for on a global scale. So a lot of us who are just trying to be nice, good people just kind of sit down and go, okay, sorry, I asked. We got sick and tired of that. And in the midst of getting sick and tired of that, we realized that, yes, we can bless others, but we have to prioritize our own interests. If altruism is your ultimate goal, you can't bless other countries. You can't protect other countries if we don't fortify our own first. And we have sold America out in every thinkable way in order to, I think, serve the benefits of those people who existed in the deep state who were making those decisions for us. Not to be charitable to the world, but really to preserve themselves in the deep state. That's ultimately where I believe that we are. So going back to the original question and kind of the slap fight that's taking place among influencers, I think that some of these people who are going back and forth in this conversation have the best of intentions. I think the vast majority of them are making boatloads of money off of saying edgy, counterpoint types of things in a space where people are just globbing onto this and taking this into its own place where it kind of becomes a cult-like following. But there is money absolutely being made to the tune that you and I probably can't even imagine. If you ask yourself the Israel question, you have to, I think, converse that question and first frame it as if you're somebody from somewhere else asking it about the United States of America. If you're asking yourself, is Israel really for America? Is Israel serving the benefits of America or not? There are going to be times where if you make the converse argument there, where if you were in Israel or anywhere else around the world and you would be like, is America really in this for us or not? The answer is always America is in it for America. And that answer is a fine and good answer, especially if you look at the generosity and the strength and the power of our country. You have to know, especially in a relationship like that in order to benefit from the United States of America, America has to be in it for America. Because if America is in it for anything else, then that decision is being made by a few people who are honestly looking to benefit themselves over the whole of any country, including your own. So why would it not be a fair answer for Israel to say Israel is in it for Israel? And in most cases, Israel's interests are going to line up with America's interests. And sometimes they're not. And when they don't and America doesn't like it, we should be able to say, I disagree with that. I wish they would stop doing that. I don't want Israel to participate in that way. But it's not an all or nothing. It never is. We don't want that for our country. Why would it be like that for Israel? Israel should be protecting their own interests, and Israel's interests cannot be dictated solely by America. And they're not always going to intersect. Your interests with your spouse don't always intersect. They are not 100% parallel all the time. So you have disagreements. A lot of times you have disagreements. Somebody wins. You do the thing that she wants to do and not the thing he wants to do. Or maybe he's the one who makes this point and she concedes to him. Okay, fine, we'll do it that way. These are separate entities with their own interests. They both bring things to the table. And there are people who are trying to, in my opinion, sell this to a group of people who have thumbs on their phones, fingers on their keyboards that can click subscribe and like and follow and comment and all of these things. And they're making money off of what is probably a valuable conversation for us to have as a country, especially going into our own elections where we want to elect people who are there to serve America's interests, not anybody else's. I don't understand why I have to be forced to completely denounce Israel or to throw myself at the feet of Israel and you know, I just don't understand either way. I don't understand why we would not support and embrace Israel as the ally that it is for the United States of America and understand that at any given time, thank you, United States Constitution and Bill of Rights, that we have the ability to dissent on any particular issue at any given time for any particular reason as a free citizen in the United States of America without having to denounce loyalty to one or the other. It's a slap fight that is being significantly pushed not to solve global broken relationships or to create broken relationships. It's really just to push you into a fight that financially benefits people and solves nothing. At at AmFest, the Turning Point USA event that's taking place this weekend in Arizona, the conservative right says, come stand on our stage and make your case. And people who attended that event this weekend, many of those people, because these are like the most politically engaged minds, are descending upon Arizona right before Christmas to be like, America. I am impressed that Turning Point has said, make your case. Do what you have to do. Come out here. They're talking about each other by name, and it's happening inside the conservative tent. Look to your left, folks. You will be told what you will believe, how you will speak, when you will speak, and when you're supposed to speak, you better speak up. You better show up. You better hold this sign. You better follow the narrative from top to bottom, or you're gone. You're out of here. We don't want your kind. The Democrat Party has problems. The Republican Party has problems. But the Republican Party talks out loud about their problems and tries to solve answers. From all we've seen in the last 4 years, if the Democrat has a problem with you, they will shut you up and they will not rest until they do. It's clear for me. Which one of these sides really, really embraces America? Obviously. You know how to fill in the answer to that. When we come back, Ryan Schmelz is going to join us, Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent. He is going to talk to us about the accomplishments of the Republicans and the Democrats on Capitol Hill. Did they do what they came to do in 2025? What is immediately on the table in 2026? We got midterms coming up in that next year. Ryan Schmelz on the Annie Fry Show next.
And he shall reign forevermore, forevermore. Unto us a child is born, the King of kings and Lord of lords. And he shall reign forevermore, forevermore.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com. Just throw the S on the end of Home Shield Foundation Repair and add that .com. And you're going to their website to learn about foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete lifting. If it has to do with the concrete foundation, you have the right people to call at Home Shield Foundation Repair. Matt Hayes can be reached at 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. They are St. Louis's trusted foundation repair and waterproofing specialists. They know how to resolve the water that has been seeping into your basement. They know how to get that problem taken care of. And when you go through the basement waterproofing process with Home Shield Foundation Repair, they're going to slap a lifetime warranty on that service to make sure that you never have to worry about it again. If the problem arises after that, you just call them back and they take care of it. 314-227-9636. That's 314-227-9636. Call my friend Matt Hayes. He's a wonderful guy. You'll meet him immediately and be like, okay, I understand. You're one of us. He'll be glad to help you. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
The team at Ricken Financial want to help you make educated and informed decisions about your retirement strategies.
Why not rely on individuals who can optimize your thinking and optimize your plan and optimize all the resources and show you what's all available to be able to make a truly informed decision?
Call Ricken Financial today, 314-207-6211, or online at rickenfinancial.com, and join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Sunday at 1 p.m. here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Smart talk, strong values. This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's one of my favorite times of the week where we get the update from the man in the room, Ryan Schmelz. He's a Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent. Ryan, Merry Christmas to you. It's Christmas week. We're so glad to be able to talk to you each and every week pretty much at this point right now. Is it quiet on Capitol Hill yet?
Dead. Dead as a doornail.
Dead. Dead as a doornail.
There's less people at Fox. There's less traffic in D.C. It's honestly kind of nice.
And here we are.
We'll enjoy the break while it lasts.
Yeah, no kidding. So the lawmakers have gone home for the year. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. They don't come back till, I believe, like January 5th. So it's going to be a nice little break.
So, Ryan, talk to us about the big stories of 2025. With the Republicans and the Democrats, we've had a government shutdown. We had a big, beautiful bill, among other things. Give us some of the insight of the developments of 2025 that you think will have staying power. We'll be talking about them again in 2026.
I want to pay attention to the Elise Stefanik fallout and kind of her fall from being at the top of the Republican Party to, we don't know what's going to happen next with her. Now, keep in mind, there is this longstanding thought that whatever happens to her is that, even if she's in Congress or out of Congress, if somebody in President Trump's cabinet steps aside, she is usually going to be at the top of the list for a likely replacement for that person. So that's one thing to keep in mind, too, is that just because she's retiring from Congress, just because she's not in the Trump administration right now, and because she's no longer in GOP leadership, does not mean that her political career has ended. Now, it's notable she ended her campaign for governor, but she was putting a lot of political risk into that campaign because she was an underdog no matter how disliked Kathy Hochul is. So if she would have lost that race, would that have set her political career back? This, in many ways, gives her an opportunity to kind of wait and see what her next move is going to be, whether that's in the next Trump administration or maybe coming back and running for a different office one day.
So that's a good question. I'm glad you brought up Elise Stefanik. The news came out that she was suspending or quitting her race for governor of New York, and then also not running again for Congress. And she made this statement with the illusion or suggestion, I should say, that she'd spent some time with her family. She has a very young child, and she just felt as though this was the right direction for her future. Has she fallen out with leadership in the House? Is she still in the good graces of the Trump administration? What are her positions right there in correlation to the relationships that she's had and where they might lead in the future?
Well, you remember she gave an interview to the Wall Street Journal where she had some pretty harsh words for Speaker Johnson about his leadership and even questioned if he'd be able to get the votes to become Speaker if he was put on the ballot or put on the floor once again. So there was definitely some rockiness going on between the two of them towards the end there, and still is pretty prevalent. With the Trump administration, it seems as though she's still in the good graces with them, but you'll go back to when she was the UN ambassador nominee. We understand and we reported that she had been going through maybe not the same relationship with Susie Wiles that she once had. She had been, kind of pestering the administration and pestering top officials about getting her confirmed. And her nomination kept getting delayed because of how slim the majority was in the House. And Republicans didn't want to take the risk of losing her seat. So eventually it seemed as though the Trump administration got a little frustrated by that. And that was one of the things that led to her nomination being pulled. That wasn't everything. It was a factor in it. It wasn't the big picture. The big issue was that President Trump and others in the Trump administration were kind of panicking about her congressional district and whether or not a Republican could win that seat if she were to step aside. Well, that district's going to get tested now because she's not running for re-election.
Yeah, certainly. That's the whole midterm map is going to be probably the biggest question going into the November 2026 elections. It really seems like the House balance could swing drastically one way, drastically the other, could stay razor thin. Are you hearing anything on Capitol? Maybe not right now because it's so quiet. Good for you. But do you have a sense of nervousness coming from the Democrats, coming from the Republicans about what 2026 will hold?
It seems like both sides are pretty cautiously optimistic. There's ways you can look at the map and spin it however you want. The one thing Republicans like to look at is the fact that only 3 Republicans are defending districts that Vice President Harris won. There's over a dozen Democrats defending districts that President Trump won. So Republicans feel like the map is kind of in their favor. But Democrats will look at the victories in Virginia, New Jersey, New York, some other places across the country and say that the momentum is clearly on their side. So, and of course, history is also on the Democrat side here, too, because traditionally, that first midterm of a presidential administration is usually pretty rough for the incumbency. So Democrats do feel like history and recent election cycles prove that they can win back the House. But of course, like you mentioned, there's a big X factor here, which is we don't know what the final map's going to even look like because there's been so many redistricting efforts. And a lot of these redistricting efforts, the ones that pass their state legislatures, still have to survive legal challenges. And you've got the Texas map up in legal limbo right now. You've got the California one that could be in legal limbo. So we really just don't know what the map is going to look like in the end.
So we're speaking with Ryan Schmelz, Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill and White House correspondent on X at Ryan Schmelz Fox. Another big word, F word, I would add, that is going to be discussed in 2026, filibuster. And maybe the other one, but we'll stick with filibuster. I hear a lot of discussion, maybe the possibility that some Republicans in the Senate might be more interested in the possibility of ending the filibuster. For folks who are listening right now who are unfamiliar, the filibuster is the barrier to getting to where they actually vote for any bill. It only takes one extra person in the Senate, or actually a tie, and J.D. Vance, as the vice president, can break that tie and pass a bill, but they have to get over that 60-vote threshold with the filibuster. How does it work to get rid of the filibuster? When people are saying, get rid of it, nuke the filibuster, what is the process to get through removing the filibuster? Does it have to be done each individual time? Can it be done as a blanket? What's the process there? And your thoughts on the likelihood?
It's pretty complicated, and it would require a pretty stringent changing of Senate rules. Now, I do not believe it's as hard as people might think it is. I think it is something they can do with a simple majority, which is getting rid of the filibuster and changing Senate rules. The big concern is not how hard it is to do. It's what kind of precedent are you going to set if you do it? And that's something that Leader Thune has been very conscious of and has kind of played the long game with, because the thought is that if you let Democrats take control of the Senate down the road and you've gotten rid of the filibuster for a number of issues, well, now Democrats have a way to get Medicare for all passed. They have a way to get Medicaid expansion passed, and Democrats can definitely take advantage of that, the way the Republicans have taken advantage of the 50-vote threshold to confirm Supreme Court nominees. So Leader Thune's been kind of hesitant to go along with President Trump when it comes to nuking the filibuster. Now, the question's going to probably be, too, is what are they going to need it for? And if you say, okay, well, Republicans should get rid of the filibuster for getting a health care proposal through. Well, the Republicans can use the reconciliation or the one big beautiful bill process in order to do that, because that is a process that only requires 50 votes. So if Republicans are able to get some of their key agenda items through with just simply doing that, then the temptation to just nuke the filibuster to get other things passed might not be as big.
Is there any discussion about, when people talk about filibuster, when I hear filibuster, I think about somebody standing up there and talking until they can't talk any longer. And then it becomes kind of a spectacle. Fox News puts a little box on the bottom of the screen so that when you tune in, you're like, oh, he's still going. He's still doing it. That's the way it used to be, is my understanding, that if you wanted to filibuster a bill and keep it from coming to a vote, you had to hold the floor to keep it from coming to a vote. Is there any discussion at all about making the filibuster, instead of completely getting rid of it, make them stand up there and filibuster the actual bill by using their words?
I mean, this has been a long-standing issue, which is, floor time and Democrats being able to delay certain things. And they've done that with nominees where Republicans have to wait this clock out and they can't really, put anything else on the floor until that clock expires. And you've kind of seen this process really start to play out this Congress where, Leader Thune has had to bring up pretty much every single nominee one at a time, and it got to the point that Thune decided to change Senate rules in order to confirm some of the lower level nominees. But when President Trump first got into office and you had to confirm the Department of Defense secretary, you had to confirm the Secretary of State, Secretary of War, Veterans Affairs, pretty much all of them, then you would see this kind of waiting period where not much was happening. And it's not because they didn't want to do anything. It's because that's how they had to operate under the rules in order to get certain nominees confirmed. And it's been a frustrating process. And that's why you hear members of Congress, both on a bipartisan basis, talk about, well, wait a minute, do we need these positions to be confirmed anymore? Can we maybe change which positions need to be confirmed by the Senate so this is just a little bit easier on whoever is the president?
So, Ryan, the nominees getting pushed through is a part of the complication of a minority party trying to do everything to stall and to keep the majority party from getting things through. The Republicans do it when the Democrats have the majority. I think the Democrats have taught the Republicans a few lessons, and the Republicans have been more likely to take on some of these tactics that the Democrats are doing. We watched the government shutdown in 2025, and if you listened to Chuck Schumer, he said it was over health care. So the Schumer shutdown was based on the subsidies that are going to sunset because the Democrats made them sunset at the end of the year. Now they have a healthcare problem that they need to solve. I imagine this is going to be a high priority once 2026 gets back here in the beginning of January. Where are each party right now, and where is the process to help Americans afford their healthcare?
Well, Republicans have their own bill and Democrats have their own bill. Democrats are trying to lobby to get votes on a 3-year extension of the program. Only problem is that it's probably not going to get 60 votes because Republicans have made it very clear that they want to see substantial reforms to the program in order to get it pretty much restarted. And it seems like 3 years is just way too long. A 2-year option would probably be more possible, maybe even a 1-year option. Republicans have a separate bill that would essentially take the money and not give it to the insurance companies, instead give it directly to the patient or the consumer. And the idea is that it's supposed to drive down premiums over time. And Republicans did get a good report from the Congressional Budget Office, which did an estimate claiming that premiums would drop over a period of time if the Republican bill became law. But Democrats have pushed back on this, saying it's junk insurance, pointing to a number of other issues that they have, and pointing to that they believe that the 20 million plus people who are currently on the Obamacare premium tax credit program and use that to get their premiums lower would not totally be covered by this.
So the final question I have for you, if we can't get healthcare fixed right away, it will probably be a main conversation around a potential pending government shutdown part 2 right at the end of January. We shut it down once. Will we see the Democrats shut it down again? What do you think the likelihood of them being able to pass these appropriation bills will be at the end of January?
I think it's still hard to tell. Obviously, the time is running out, but they came close to maybe making some progress on this right before the Senate broke for recess. When they come back, I think there's this idea of a minibus for a select group of those bills. If they're able to get that passed, that's going to really alleviate the impacts of a government shutdown. Remember, they've already got 3 of these appropriations bills passed, which covers SNAP benefits through the end of the fiscal year, covers the Department of Veterans Affairs through the end of the fiscal year. So a lot of those issues that come up during government shutdowns aren't going to be impacted this time. And if they're able to get more of the bills done, And that's going to really alleviate some of the issues that you're seeing here. So the more appropriations bills they pass, the less of an issue the government shutdown is going to be.
All right. Well, Ryan Schmelz, thank you for being with us. You said it was really empty there. One of our listeners on YouTube, Joe, suggested to go into empty offices and order pizzas from their phones. So if you get super bored, I don't know. I would like to know whose office, which congressional member would you go order pizzas from their phones, their empty office phones first? Do you have an answer for us?
I do. I would probably go with Eric Schmidt or Congressman Burleson, just because I know you have a direct line to them and could probably get me out of trouble if they decide to press charges for using their money to buy stuff.
Yeah, I think they'd both find that very funny, and I think they'd probably get you back, and then maybe us back as well. So let us know how it goes. Ryan Schmelz, Merry Christmas to you, to your family. We love spending time with you. Your insight is invaluable. We're grateful for you.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you, Annie, and everybody back in St. Louis. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks so much. Have a wonderful holiday. Ryan Schmelz, our friend and Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill White House correspondent with us pretty much each week. And we're grateful for that look inside, because it's just like, here's the facts. Love them or hate them, this is what's going on. It's very helpful. All right, let's take a quick break here. We're going to get Ryan back in studio, and then we're going to do a little Wiggins America too shortly, the Monday Roundup. Here's the YouTube poll for today. And we'll throw this out here. We'll discuss it a little bit more as soon as we come back. In 2026, that year that's coming up, how would you like the Annie Fry Show to evolve? Yes, we're throwing ourselves at the mercy of the public court. Give us your thoughts, your advice, your suggestions, your criticisms. We can handle it. Most of us can. Do you want more political discussion in 2026? More cultural discussion? More lighthearted fun? Or do you want it to stay exactly the same? Or maybe there's something else. Throw it in the comments, or you can text us at 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. We'll be right back.
So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. Ooh, it's something magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. You reach out to Stewie and you tell him Annie sent you. That's a great start at 314-324-4440. I've used the Bagel Loan 2 times. I'm a customer of the Bagel Loan. I have definitely put my footsteps where my words and my mouth is on using the Bagel Loan. I refied twice. My original mortgage with the house, I think we almost cut the mortgage rate in half when rates went kaput back in like 2019 or something like that. Another mortgage refinance, but that time a cash out mortgage refinance to take some money out to build a deck on the back of our house, because the old one was literally rocking back and forth when you walk on it. Not good. Needed to be replaced. Stewie made that possible for us. If you are seeking out a brand new mortgage for a new home purchase or a mortgage refinance, Stewie is ready to take your phone call or your text message at 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
Hey, Jeff, looks like your business is really booming, even in a tough time for businesses like ours.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, thanks to LendSeek, our business was able to take care of some outstanding bills and taxes and to purchase inventory and expand our product lines.
Wow. You know, my business needs working capital, but only from a reputable company that I can trust and count on. How does LendSeek work?
Fast and easy. Just apply at lendseek.com. Their AI lending platform gave my business access to over 100 funding programs with one simple application. And it costs nothing to apply.
At lendseek.com, you can receive business funding with no collateral, no prepayment penalties, and no restrictions on how you use the funds. Whatever your funding needs are, seek no more. Our AI lending marketplace has you covered. If you've been in business at least 1 year with annual revenue of at least $250,000, you could get the funding your business needs in as little as 24 hours. There's no obligation, so apply today at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Grandpa had a soft spot for dogs.
Yeah, he always had treats in his pocket.
He said if you're going to take care of people, you better take care of their best friends too.
Is that why we help dog shelters?
That's right. For every service call, we donate 10 pounds of dog food to local dog shelters, helping dogs waiting for a home.
Grandpa would like that.
He sure would.
Green is always grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Hi, Chad Hansen from Hansen's Tree Service. Much like the human body, trees require a specific combination of nutrients to thrive. Our certified arborists can come to your property and prescribe the ideal treatment to ensure your trees and plants thrive this coming season. Check us out today at hansenstree.com and take advantage of our winter savings.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
This is Kyle Bush with Crinch Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. Life changes, divorce, loss of a loved one, or an inheritance. It can be overwhelming. We provide the resources, long-standing support, and thoughtful guidance you need to plan ahead. With our help and experience, you don't have to navigate these transitions alone. You can move forward with greater clarity and confidence. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services. Member FINRA/SIPC. Prince Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
The question we're asking you today is, in 2026, how would you like this show, The Annie Fry Show, to evolve? There are a few options there. You can give us one of those. You certainly have to vote in one of those 4, but you can also let us know, like, in what way would you like to see that happen in the comments? Let us know. We're certainly following those all day today and anxious to see how this one turns out. It is 12:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Wishing you a very Merry Christmas.
Hey guys, Ethan Hannaford, producer for The Annie Fry Show and The Mark Reardon Show here. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas season and happy holidays to you all. Thank you so much for listening on 97.1 FM Talk.
This is The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's Christmas time. It's so exciting. I'm just very, very happy for the Christmas holiday to get here, and for time spent with family is wonderful. I think that it's possible that my kids' favorite time of year is the Christmas break. Obviously, Christmas is just on another level. There's nothing that you really compare, like a Christmas morning or your family Christmas gift opening. Nothing really compares to that in life. That's its own thing.
Yeah.
But that Christmas break time where, especially if you're a family like mine, Ryan, I know that you've got a lot of places to go and things to do with like kids' sports and choir performances for the holiday or whatever it might be. Homework. Do you guys have a lot of homework in your house?
My wife does.
Yeah.
She has a lot of grading. She's an English teacher. So
that was her mistake. She should have been a history teacher like my husband.
That's what I keep telling her. Quit your job.
No, just change, modify. What do history teachers even do? Jared, text me. You forge the future of the country, teaching civics and where we've been so that we can know where we're going.
At least we hope that's what's happening.
Yeah, I know. My husband likes to talk. I mean, it's funny when you meet a history nerd because they have a sense of context that really actually matters. But my experience is that those history nerds, they don't really... They just know it. There might be an air of, like, if you're in a conversation, people are talking, they don't know what they're talking about. You can kind of tell that they're like, that's not it. What English teachers, is there a way that English teachers are?
Yeah, they're usually kind of earthy, hippie people a little bit, or nerdy academics, one of the two. I don't think
Which is your wife?
She's more earthy, hippie.
Yeah. She's kind of a free spirit.
Yeah.
In a great way.
Yeah. The other archetype that I would think of with English teachers is a little more professorial. It's a little more
I really don't appreciate how you're using like English teacher terms to explain it. Archetype.
I think you do like it.
What are the themes that you see in your English teacher wife?
A lot of flowing skirts. A lot of thought to the aesthetic, whatever that means.
You've heard
of a room, you
Yeah.
know, anything. That kind of stuff very much matters
Yeah.
to these kinds of people.
Math teachers, Brad? You're married to a math teacher.
So imagine everything that Ryan just said and do the exact opposite.
Yeah,
I would
same.
agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
They are very analytical, very linear thinking, step-by-step kind of things, love lists, all of that.
I think math teachers and English teachers hate social studies teachers.
Yeah, I do too.
Katie, Mrs. Wiggins is always talking about how much Jared sucks.
Yeah, she is as a
Let's
person.
let's manifest this mutiny against our spouses on the air when they can't do or say anything about it.
That they're fighting each
Yeah.
other?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with us.
Okay.
We are the peacekeepers.
Yeah, we're just trying our hardest. They hate each other. And when they meet each other for the first time in like 2 years, since we don't all get into a big group with our spouses that often,
Yeah.
they're going to
There's
battle
usually
royale.
blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we're 3 for 3 that our spouses are all the better halves of each of our relationships. They're
Yes.
the calmer, nicer, more patient.
Yeah, radio doesn't attract great people.
You're like, it's just the odds, really.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That's why when people meet us, they're like, "Oh man, I like the on-air version better."
Yeah. Sorry to disappoint. My name's Annie. Hi, how are you? No, all 3 of our teacher spouses are. They're not. I mean, they're not type B people. My husband's a type B person.
I don't know what my wife is because she leads in the classroom very well. I mean, she keeps a tight ship running, but and at home she does too because she was with our kids all the time. But I don't know. I just handle different things than she does.
Same
so we kinda
in our house.
divide and conquer.
I think knowing what I know about your wife, she is probably not necessarily type A. She's just a woman. She's just juggling all of the things that are in front of her
That's fair.
at one time and moving the train down the tracks the way it needs to be. She's a joyful person.
Let me ask you this question since we're all married to teachers. Is it this time of year that your spouse just crashes? Because when we get to Christmas break, my wife has pushed so hard.
My husband's a social studies teacher, so he's chill.
Oh, that's terrible. I can't wait to tell my wife that. She's going to feel so vindicated and
Jared
mad.
is sitting probably running a million errands right now in his car with his shoulders slumped like,
It is not a joke in our house that the minute
Not a
Christmas
joke.
break hits, she has to sleep for pretty much 2 days. Same as true of summer break.
Does she give written finals?
Yes.
Do they have to be grade like essay short answer?
They basically need to be in by yesterday.
No, she should give a Google form that's A,
There's
B,
no way
C,
to
or
do
D.
it with English. She teaches writing.
If she puts her mind to it.
No.
You're not with that attitude.
No, she's not capable of that, Annie.
Well, I'm just going to say right now that is not English is the most difficult for that reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know why she would want to do that with her life, but it's a good thing she does.
I keep
'cause
telling
she
her,
needs to be
pare it back. The standards are getting lower across the board. You can do it too.
You're like, Mrs. Wiggins, I'm public about this on the air.
No, but
you
she
got to set
pushes-
the expectation super
She
low.
pushes those kids so hard, and they come out such good writers. I do have to praise her for that. I joke about
Yeah.
it, but she is so good at being an English and writing teacher. And she doesn't take. She just keeps pushing those kids.
If
all
we
the time.
crossed, if we talked about this once on the air before, if we crossed up, if our spouses came in and did our job for a day, and we went and did theirs, we would tap out way faster than they would.
Oh, I tap out. I said after Sunday school, after 45 minutes.
Yeah, get out of
She's
your
out
kids.
doing it every day.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Real quick, let's get to Wiggins America here.
Wiggins! Monday Roundup! This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Let's start with some good news from the weekend. This is coming from Fox Business. It says gas prices have fallen for the holiday season despite the increase in demand as a record number of people begin to hit the road.
Gosh, I wonder why that is.
I can't figure it out. The national average for a gallon of regular gasoline fell more than 4 cents to $2.89 nationally last week, according to AAA. This marks the cheapest December at the pump since
2019?
2020.
2020.
The middle of the pandemic when nobody's driving.
Yeah.
This is the cheapest in 4 years.
And it's before Executive Order Numero Uno, which was a kick in the pants to the energy sector.
But it's amazing to look back at the last time it was this cheap. It was under President Donald Trump.
Yes.
May have something to do with politics. What's the cheapest you've seen gas in the last week or so?
$2.50.
Yeah, I saw it $2.39 at one station somewhere around here in Missouri. But the crazy thing is, and I don't know if it's like this in everywhere in Illinois, but in Collinsville, the prices are around $2.50 to $2.60 per gallon. And I come over the river, and they're about $2.50 to $2.60 a gallon. So, Missouri, I think you're making a little profit on that a little right now.
Yeah, pretty sure.
You haven't lowered those prices yet, but I did see a couple that were dropping into the 230s, which is great. National average $2.89 going into holiday week this week. All right, here's some not quite as nice news. In fact, it's pretty bad news, and this is happening all over the country, although this is a local report from... I think this is KSDK. It says that a troubling new trend is spiking overdose deaths, and it's involving a new drug. This is a new drug that's hitting the entire country, every major city, called carfentanil. Have you heard of this yet?
No.
Oh, boy.
It is 100 times more potent than fentanyl. And about 10,000, just for reference, since not everybody's done fentanyl, you don't know what does that mean. 10,000 times stronger than morphine. I mean, you're talking instant.
You just use it, it kills you.
Gosh.
I don't know that. I don't know because obviously some people have used it a few times before it's gotten them. But the rate of death and the rate of, just overdosing is skyrocketing because of this new form of fentanyl. And I looked this up, and it is every city in America is dealing with this right now. The federal government is dealing with it too, but here's how we are dealing with it locally in St. Louis. They're putting Narcan vending machines all over the city now. Whether it's a good idea or not, I don't know. I'm not judging it. It just says that there are 27 vending machines throughout the county and one at a county headquarters in Clayton. These vending machines were funded through a $2.6 million grant. The plan is to have them in barbershops, fire departments, and stores, and there's a map of them. So these vending machines are going to reach up to 41 sites across St. Louis.
Is it free?
I don't know the answer to that. It just says they're vending machines. It says no prescription. Yeah, I guess they are free because no
That's
prescription
crazy,
or payment is required.
I've told my husband that we should buy some Narcan and have it at our house because you could come in contact with it and not. I mean, you don't have to be doing hard drugs to be affected by a fentanyl, but if you have it, it absolutely saves lives. If you don't have it, and it was $50-some bucks.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow. Well, the weird thing is that when you look at the trend overall, overdose deaths are down in this last year, but this new drug is kicking in right now, and they're expecting it's just going to go crazy. So they're trying to get ahead of it. But yeah, look out for this new super, super potent fentanyl.
Can we get to one text on the poll question before we take a break here?
Sure.
The poll question being in 2026, how would you like the AFS to evolve? You said you had one at 314-241-9797. What do you got?
Yeah, let us know, too, if you have thoughts on this. Here's the one. Oh, actually, another one just came in. It says, first, I think the balance between seriousness and goofiness is perfect the way it is, Don says.
Thanks, Don.
And another person says, yay, Wiggins. They might just know that I'm monitoring the text right now.
And trying to prove the point.
Hello.
Point proven. Let us know what you think. We're asking you, do you want to hear more political discussion in 2026? More cultural discussion? More lighthearted fun? Want to keep it just the way it is? We are taking your feedback. We've got a lot of comments coming in on the YouTube chat. We're going to do a segment on that in the 2 o'clock hour, so stick around for that. In the 1 o'clock hour, let's get an economic update from our friend Steve Moore and Brian Kilmeade back on the Annie Fry Show. I haven't talked to him since he dressed me up as a nun. at his event here at the factory. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Numerous studies over the years have said that disagreements about money are the number one source of arguments in a relationship and one of the leading causes of divorce, regardless of income level. Ed Jertson, founder of the Engage Wealth Group in Chicago, says you can avoid that strife by having a stress-free conversation with your partner ahead of time.
What you prioritize and how you're going to handle money going forward as a collective unit.
I'm Rob Hart.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another. For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 6 or Saturday afternoon at 4, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
This is your chance to win a free basic handgun skills class from the Range St. Louis West. Mark Cox here, 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin is where the range sits, and you got to go. This is ideal for beginners, expert instruction. They have it available in a women-only class if you're more comfortable. Normally the class is $135. You can win right now, therangestl.com/971. Again, therangestl.com/971. If you or someone you know has a home to sell, call Gloria Lou. That's right, Gloria Lou, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is here with me now. And when it comes to St. Louis area market conditions, what advice do you have for your home sellers in today's market?
Well, most importantly, I understand every seller's situation is different. Some sellers need to sell, and some sellers want to sell. And a lot of my sellers are looking to buy, and they also have a home to sell. My advice in this uncertain market is to get an upfront written guarantee. That way, you know exactly how much you stand to make with your home sale. My guarantee sale offer is simple. I'll sell your home at 100% of market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Take it from me, Mark Cox, an actual client. Sell with certainty and an upfront guarantee with Gloria Lou. Call 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Time out. I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News. There's a big setback coming for some U.S. wind energy initiatives.
The Trump administration announcing that effective immediately, it's pausing all leases for large-scale offshore wind projects being constructed in the U.S. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum on Fox Business telling Maria Bartiromo this is because of national security risks identified by the Department of War in recently completed classified reports.
That the issues related to these large offshore wind programs create radar interference that creates a genuine risk for the U.S.
Wind power is the nation's largest source of renewable energy. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
The U.S. holding talks this past weekend with both sides in the Russia-Ukraine war.
Special Envoy Steve Witkoff called the negotiations productive after meeting Russian President Vladimir Putin's Special Envoy on Saturday. Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner met Sunday with officials from Ukraine and Europe. No face-to-face talks between the two sides were conducted. One Kremlin official said Ukrainian and European input in the proposals had not improved the prospects for peace. But the Russians would return to Moscow and report to Putin on the outcome of the talks.
That's Fox's Greg Palcott. Heading into the midterm elections, Democrats on Capitol Hill are reportedly weighing another impeachment push.
Democrats this year put up big barriers to block the Republican agenda, but the GOP still passed the big, beautiful bill and confirmed nearly all of President Trump's nominees, despite Democratic resistance.
Fox's Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. Attorney General Pam Bondi is reportedly the target of the perhaps impeachment effort due to redactions made to the Jeffrey Epstein files. A Russian general dead, killed by a car bomb in Moscow, the third such killing of a senior military officer in just over a year. No word on who was behind that attack. America's listening to Fox News.
Looking for something new? Try fencing, the Olympic and Paralympic sport that mixes speed, strategy, and fun. It's like chess meets cardio. Quick feet, quick decisions, and a satisfying beat when you score a point. Kids, teens, and adults can start anytime. No experience needed, and many clubs have loaner gear. Coaches teach fundamentals and safety from day one. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org/tryfencing.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
It does not feel like late December. Partly sunny skies, 55 for the high this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy, 46. Tuesday, sunny and 64. Wednesday, cloudy skies, 70 on Wednesday. Christmas Eve, 59 for the overnight low. Thursday, Christmas Day, sunny with record heat, 74 for the high. The record, 71 from 1889. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist, Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
So expectations were for 3.1%, actually coming in at 2.7 for headline. That's incredible. I mean, I thought tariffs were supposed to be inflationary, by the way, and we're seeing inflation come down. So look, I mean, the affordability gap is closing every single day under President Trump's watch. Right. We've seen real wage growth be positive, inflation slowing. This is great for America.
So he said the T word there, saying tariffs were supposed to be inflationary. Affordability has been the name of the second half of 2025. And we keep hearing that a lot of the things that President Trump has been able to, usher through Congress and get to where we are right now is supposed to help affordability in a big way in 2026. Let's ask the man who knows. Steve Moore back with us, a distinguished fellow in economics at Heritage Foundation. We're great to have you back here. Thanks for being with us, Steve.
Hi, Annie. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well. Affordability, are we going to have better affordability in 2026 than we did in 2025?
Well, affordability went up in 2025. It didn't go down. That's a mythology. Now, some things went up in price, like, the cost of buying a new house. But a lot of things went down. Airline tickets are down. Motels and hotels are down. The cell phone that I'm talking into right now went down in price. Televisions went down in price. Pork chops went down in price. I could go on and on. So, people tend to focus on the things like beef and healthcare and housing that went up, but a lot went down. What about gas prices?
Mm-hmm.
What $2.39 a gallon, something like that.
Yes.
In that area. So, and incomes went up. So incomes went up faster than inflation. So that means, by definition, people's affordability went up. It's just that the kind of things that they want Look, I have two sons that are in their early 30s, and they can't afford to buy a house. I get that, because when I bought my first house at 31, so it's a different time. But these young people think they can buy a mansion as their first house. You should have seen my first house, Annie. It was like a shack.
Yeah, same. We bought our first house from an estate sale. It took us 3 months to make it livable, and when we bought that house, that house in the year 2007. So we kind of escaped the housing bubble there. I want to ask about the affordability of housing in 2026. I've heard the president and the administration talk a little bit about different ways to make housing more affordable. Do you expect there to be legislative action, executive action in 2026 on housing affordability?
Yeah, sure. And, my idea that I've talked to the White House about, and they seem to be open to, is get rid of the capital gains tax on the sale of any home. And if you do that, because right now there's something called the lock-in effect of capital gains, which is the way you avoid paying the capital gains tax is you don't sell the asset. And so people sit on their houses year after year after year when, let's face it, we the baby boom generation, and I'm 65, so I'm a boomer, we have houses that, I have one left in the house, and he'll be gone next year, so we'll be empty nesters. Well, we don't need a 5-bedroom house anymore. So, we'd like to, but we can literally not afford to sell our house because the capital gains tax we'd pay would be so high that we're not going to sell it. So if you got rid of the capital gains tax on the sale of a residency, you would see a lot more homes on the market. And Annie, what happens when you increase the supply to something? What happens to its price?
The demand reacts quickly. If you increase the
price goes down.
Yes.
The other thing we should do is, you're there in the St. Louis area.
Yeah.
A lot of these restrictions on building new housing in cities and suburbs really restrict the supply because of government regulation.
Yes. Try like building a house in Illinois. My goodness, it's very punitive. Do you expect there to be action taken? Of course, you need people to be portable, to be able to move, to not be economically so tied to their home that they can't relocate. Do you expect there to be incentives on home building for people who are looking to maybe just put more inventory out there by increasing the number of houses?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, again, if the local state governments allow to build housing, people will build more housing. Given how high the prices are worth, that's an incentive to build new housing. That's the way the free market works. But when you put all sorts of zoning restrictions on what can be built, and there's a bit of in other words, like what happens in high value areas, let's say you have a home and it's worth $1 million. And then someone says, I'm going to come in and build 5 new houses. Do you want that? No, because that's going to reduce what's happening is the people who own housing don't want new housing built because it competes with their home. And that's a big problem, too. It's another one, by the way. I don't know if this is a problem in St. Louis, but it's a big problem in D.C. The affluent areas of D.C. and even the upper middle income areas, the big issue is parking.
Yeah.
Where do you park? And so people don't want more people moving in because it means you're not going to be able to find a parking space.
Yeah, that's a basic need in your place of residence. I want to talk a little bit about healthcare too, because that's going to be a huge story come January. If the Republicans or the Democrats, they're going to have to do something, I would assume, on somewhat of a bipartisan level. The healthcare system has never been affordable, even though they tried to name it the Affordable Care Act. It's always been unaffordable. They've had to throw more government money at the Affordable Care Act to make it more affordable, and it's still not working. Is there an obvious solution in front of Congress right now to solve this problem in your eyes?
Well, the obvious problem, is very simple. And I say this with every problem, but the solution is always the same. Let the free market work. Let the free market work. We don't do that. And if we bought, paid for healthcare the way we pay for groceries, we wouldn't have a healthcare crisis. But we've created a system where everybody's covered with third-party payers, either the government or the insurance companies, and then they drive up the prices, and then people can't afford the insurance. I say get rid of the insurance companies, get rid of the middlemen. They're driving up the cost so high. There's all these middlemen. Why, if you could just pay for services out, not a surgery, but other kinds of services like a doctor's visit just out of pocket, it would probably cost you 30% less. Now, you're paying for that because the employer has to pay for the plans because most people have employer-based coverage, and that's what reduces your wages and salaries when the healthcare costs shoot up. So, in other words, you think it's free. It's not free. It's not free. It's coming right out of your pay increase.
Yeah, 100%. Let me ask you this before we let you go. We're speaking with Steve Moore, the co-founder of the Committee for Prosperity. And also, Steve, I am a proud subscriber of the Unleash Prosperity Hotline. So I'm going to go to point number 2 on the Unleash Prosperity Hotline, and something I encourage everybody to subscribe to. You're talking about the number of government regulations that this administration has removed for every regulation that they've put in. This seems like the way to unleash prosperity in America. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, you better believe it. I mean, this is one of the biggest deregulation efforts ever, and this is getting rid of all these cumbersome and very expensive regulations on our businesses and on homeowners and families. And Trump, I don't think even Reagan, I don't think cut regulatory costs as much as Trump is doing, and that makes everything less expensive if they don't. And now, look, we're not talking about letting people pollute the water, or, pollute the air, or, unsafe workplaces. We're just trying to get rid of the stupid regulations. How about this one? Remember, we talked about this so many times in your show, the Biden regulations that we're going to force people to buy electric vehicles. Those are gone. How about the fact that there are a lot of areas in the country that still have racial preferences regulations? Get rid of those. Let's have a colorblind society. Nobody should be able to discriminate. You should, judge people, by their character. All of these things will have an enormous impact. We're letting hundreds of thousands of new acres be developed, whether it's for timber, whether it's for mining, whether it's for oil and gas development, so we can use our plentiful natural resources. These are common sense things that we've been waiting for 40 years for, and Trump is finally doing them.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something, too, that the second that it happens, you may not, as an American taxpayer, citizen, whatever, you might not feel the benefit of that deregulation immediately. But once that runway gets paved, it seems like 2026 could be an incredible year for taxpayers across this country.
Oh, it's not going to seem that way. It is going to be that way. I guarantee it. 2026 is going to be a blockbuster year for the economy. We're going to see very high rates of growth. We're going to see wage increases for workers. We're going to see the budget deficit come down. The budget deficit in just the first 2 months of this fiscal year, because it started on October 1st, is already down 12% from last year. So when you have a prosperous economy, guess what? The deficit falls.
Well, Steve Moore, thank you for helping us navigate all of these economic situations. You're an idea guy, and so we love to hear what your thoughts are on it. Merry Christmas to you,
go, Annie.
to your
Merry
family.
Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yep.
Talk to you in 2026.
Sounds great. Let's go. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Steve Moore, he is a Committee to Unleash Prosperity co-founder, and I really do encourage you to go, you can Google the Unleash Prosperity Hotline. I subscribe to it, and I like lists. I like things that are presented in just like bullet points, bold headlines, simple paragraphs. They're like little articles within an article, and it comes out every day, I think. And it's very helpful. He's got even little cartoons in here at the end. It's like the newspaper you don't get, but you need. The Unleash Prosperity Hotline. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll get Ryan back in here shortly. Brian Kilmeade's going to join us in about 15 minutes from right now, and I'm going to ask Brian Kilmeade, I'm definitely going to ask him about the youth sports environment. He knows a lot about it. He's was a big into soccer himself and then coaching, and I know that he's very in tune with youth sports, maybe of years gone by. Not certain how close he is to it today, but I love to get his thoughts on that. And I might figure out a way to transition that into Israel. I haven't decided yet if that's where I want to go with that conversation. Brian Kilmeade with us on the Annie Fry Show in 15 minutes. You stick with us. We'll be right back. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. If you call Matt Hayes at 314-227-9636, that's 314-227-9636. Matt Hayes is going to help you solve your foundation problems. It could be cracked concrete outside on your patio, your walkway. It's become a bit of a problem. It's a trip hazard. It's a liability, especially certainly at home, but also at work. You need to get this solved. If you've got a problem, who do you call to solve this type of problem? You call Matt Hayes, 314-227-9636. That's the number to reach Matt Hayes, to invite him out to take a look at your situation. There's no commitment, no financial commitment, but he's going to want to see the problem that he's going to need to solve before he can tell you how he can solve it, what it's going to cost, and all of that. Then you make an educated decision. Do I trust this guy? I think you will. And you get the problem solved. If it's a water issue in your basement, reach out to Matt Hayes, and he's going to walk you through how to get that solved as well. 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
You know, there's a certain way we do things around here. The Grasser way.
The Grasser way?
We don't cut corners and we don't take shortcuts. Not on the little stuff and not on the big stuff.
We do the big stuff.
That's right. Whole home generators that kick on the moment the grid gives up. Lights stay on, heat stays on, your family stays safe. So your house stays warm.
And your ice cream stays frozen.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
This holiday season, when you get them STIHL, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit STIHLUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from STIHL. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Annie Fry is back because truth doesn't take a break. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The first Noel, the angels did say, was the certain Portia, birds in fields where they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep, on a cold winter's night that was so deep.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. That YouTube poll for today. In 2026, how would you like the Annie Fry Show to evolve? We've got a lot on the table, and we're looking for an exciting and transformative 2026. So we would like to hear from you, your thoughts. The options on the poll for today on our YouTube live broadcast. Do you want more political discussion? Do you want more cultural discussion? Do you want more lighthearted fun? Do you want it to stay the same? You can vote. And I will take this very much so to heart, including your compliments and your criticism, your suggestions, all of that type of stuff. We always appreciate the feedback here. You said you have a text?
Well, there's quite a few.
314-241-9797 if you'd like to weigh in via the text line. What do you got?
This one says, learning how to text here. And the person says, I would love to comment on Annie Fry's interviews. They're always so good. Love the sports report. Maybe a little more time on that. That's Ethan. And then Wiggins America is always fun.
Are we going to sense a theme of the text you choose to read here?
Sometimes the fun conversations need direction.
Well, that was Steve, our boss.
Yeah.
It really legit could be.
I'm piecing through these because they kind of come in a weird way. This one says, poll says, stay the same. Nice and balanced. Balanced brought us the news, or brings us the news that a singular human on Earth can't sleep with deodorant on.
Yes. The really, what I would say is like the headline story from 2025 in the Annie Fry Show.
Right.
Ethan doesn't wear deodorant.
Yeah, and we just found that out recently.
Yeah, you have to read the 5th paragraph to find out only in bed, but we're not going to put that in the headline.
We're not going to put that in there. We don't do in-bed stories.
That's the Mark Cox 5th paragraph rule.
That's right. This comment says, more commercial breaks, please. LOL.
Hey, listen,
it's a joke.
let me right now just throw out there, if you'd like to sponsor the Annie Fry Show and like me to endorse your product, let's get together. Message me on the Annie Fry Show, and we can satisfy that listener's desires.
They did put LOL.
Yeah.
I think it's a joke. All right, you guys rock is another one. Another one says, as a teacher myself, I'm very happy to see so many teachers associated with your show.
Oh, yes, they run the show from the quiet background.
Right. This one says a poll has been taken and Ryan Wiggins is in the lead. Not sure what the poll was for, though.
That was from you.
I guess so. But, that's a nice cross-section of the text we've gotten in the last, 15 minutes.
Okay, cool. A few responses from the Annie Fry YouTube live chat. Ender said, stay the same. I'd like to see more local news, local stuff, meaning more Ethan, but also more educational, how local, county, state things actually apply to and impact us. We really don't do a ton of local things. And this is very transparent with you right now. So I appreciate that feedback, Ender. I certainly don't do a whole lot of Missouri on a St. Louis talk radio show, but I think we have the two very best people in the business in radio doing a lot of Missouri local in Mark Cox in the Morning and the Mark Reardon Show. So I feel like it's being done on the station, and if you don't listen to them, you should to get that. But if that were something that was a resounding amount of feedback that I got from our listeners, that you really want more Missouri State stuff, then I would probably do that. I'm not opposed to it, and I understand the value of it. I am an Illinois resident, of course, so we do some Illinois. We'll do more Illinois in 2026 because our big election, our statewide election, it's the every 4 years where we elect all Democrats is going to happen next year, and maybe we won't this coming year. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to at least vote for Republicans again. But, we don't, you would say in St. Louis Talk Radio, there's quite a bit focusing on the city of St. Louis, the county, the state legislature. It's being talked about.
Yeah, and it's not unimportant. It's just that, and I'm saying this on behalf of myself and nobody else. When I hear a lot of what's going on in St. Louis, I just did a story, literally this exact thing. This story about carfentanil and how it's spiking overdoses in St. Louis. Well, that's a local story, but it's also a national story. So a lot of the things that St. Louis is dealing with, every city is dealing with. And I'm not saying that means there's nothing that's unique to us or that we shouldn't report on, but a lot of the times when we talk about crime, for instance, that is a local story, but it's a national story. So there's a lot of crossover with these things too.
And I've heard people, suggest that they like local. It's not the thing that I hear the most about what, people don't tell me they listen to the show for the local news because we don't do a ton of local news. But we do have Ethan doing a daily segment right now because local news and sports is not what we focus on together here as a unit on the Annie Fry Show, but we want to do it, so we made it Ethan's job.
Right. We said,
and then we said, Ryan, you can name it.
That was the best thing that ever happened to me. Except for this text that I just got. Now, This is on my personal text line.
And that number is?
I will not say all of it.
There's a 6 and a 7.
No, there's not. There's not any of that in there. I don't even use numbers. It's all letters. This is from, I'll just say this is from the 618.
Okay.
From the east side.
Is this from an English teacher?
Ryan needs a raise.
Oh, is it from an English teacher?
No, it's from my dad.
Man, Mr. Wiggins, I don't have any say in that other than to advocate that he is always still attached to the show.
Mr. Wiggins, Bob, don't listen to her. She can do anything she wants, and she just chooses not to.
You think your pay is based on my opinion of you?
She just needs to push harder, Dad.
It's a contract year for me next year.
That's right.
Yeah. You want me to advocate for a raise for you?
I do. Yeah, if you could go into hard negotiations that are based mostly on
what
my
if that's
salary.
why I don't get renewed? Then what?
I guess that's
then
a bridge that we'll cross when we get to it.
Well, you'll have to cross it too. It will affect you, and maybe this is how you. This is it. This is a long game for you, isn't it?
I can't.
That's how I get canned, and you take over the noon to 3.
The long game is I got to become so likable to you personally
that
you
I
will
advocate
fight for
for
me
you.
off the air
To get fired.
And then you get fired, and then I take over just because I'm like, all right, I guess that's what I got to do.
I see it happening in front of my eyes. You are super long game. You're the long game player on the show.
I just long gamed this text. I said, Dad, text me that I need a raise so that I could read it on the air.
Fair. We'll take more of your thoughts on the YouTube live chat poll. In 2026, how would you like to see the AFS evolve? I'm personally kind of leaning. What?
Sorry.
You have to stay with me.
I'm sorry.
I can't advocate for you if you distract the show. I was going to say I personally am thinking that I would like to talk more cultural discussion, parenting. A lot of the feedback, we did some focus groups here, and a lot of the feedback was provided to me that you guys love it when we talk about families and our kids and all of that type of stuff. So we've been leaning into that a little bit, and I continue to hear that. But the cultural stuff I think is important. So that's kind of where I'm leaning, but you guys could prove me wrong. Okay, what's so funny over there, mister?
Okay,
Mr.
man,
Gonna get a raise?
we're getting so many texts right now that I cannot keep up with them.
Well, then.
First of all, this text is very funny. It says, my husband says after listening to Annie, his brain is fried.
Oh.
It's spelled like your last name.
Oh, is that
it's
a
joke.
compliment?
I don't know. Like, is he saying, oh, it's good because he got Annie fried?
Annie fried.
How about this one? I think you should start a new segment that every Friday is Anything Goes Friday, and the listeners get to come up with a dare to have Ryan perform live.
Done. Sign me up. I'm ready. I was not there with you until that very end, and then I'm like, that is really what we'll give the whole show to Friday. Well, that's the whole Anything Goes Friday.
There's a little bit of a reveal that happens with these texts because the program breaks them up. So sometimes I'm reading the end of it. I'm reading it for the first time, and that was one of those.
That's for the first time. Anything Goes Friday. I'm writing it down.
This one says, have more fun, have more interviews. News and humor makes a winning show. I don't listen to hear a new version of Rush Limbaugh.
Well, I am not here. I've said this from the very beginning. I cannot be Rush Limbaugh, but the truth of the matter is Rush Limbaugh could not be me either because I, at the time, was a 30-year-old mom, and that's not what Rush was. And boy, am I grateful. Listen, folks, I'm a Rush baby. I grew up with Rush Limbaugh in every kitchen that I walked into growing up. Huge influence. Paved the way for little people like me to come in. But I got to do my own thing. And we're doing our best to make that happen here on the Annie Fry Show. And next, we're going to enjoy the presence of Brian Kilmeade. You hear him on 97.1 FM Talk leading into the show every single day. And we're going to get a chance to chat with him here in just a couple minutes. Don't go away.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
When it's the holidays, you want everything perfect. Finish wrapping gifts.
Perfect.
Balance the last tinsel on the bow.
Perfect.
Realize the oven's the only thing heating because the furnace is dead.
Oh, perfect.
Things will be when you call Jerry Kelly. 8 to 8, 8 days a week. We'll be there the next day or sooner. Plumbing, electrical, heating, whatever Grinch has got you, it says it in the song.
JerryKelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholt of Kaufman Townsend. Victim of a car accident? Not choosing the best lawyer will cost you. But here's the good news. Since you don't pay unless we win, you can afford the very best. Kaufman Townsley. Call 314-777-7777.
The YouTube live chat poll today, we've been talking about it, is in 2026, how would you like to see the Annie Fry Show evolve? Lots of ways to do that. I'm going to read one comment from Vicky. It says, a little more lighthearted and fun. I think I'm burnt out on politics, and with midterms looming, I'm probably going to tune out that even more. Okay, well, we'll try to have, we'll cancel midterms. We'll just have fun. It is 1:29. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. Cutting through the spin. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.
That's why we see a $40 billion industry that is growing according to investment firms, but it's growing as participation is going down. What does that tell us? It tells us that they are jacking up prices and that they are solely focused on profit. And so when, Representative, you talk about community-based programs, we need that because we need programs that are focused on the growth of the children and accessibility, not programs that are focused on profit.
Yes, youth sports is an industry, and it's a booming industry. You hear me talk about my 4 kids, 2 of which are three of them now, in active sports. We coach, they play, we're running all over the place, but the industry part of it has got me scratching my head. I want to talk to our friend Brian Kilmeade about youth sports, co-anchor of Fox and Friends, host of One Nation with Brian Kilmeade, and of course, the Brian Kilmeade Show that leads into our show every day. Brian, Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
Oh, what's going on? How you doing?
We're doing okay. I wanted to talk to you about youth sports. I saw this story kind of boiling up here recently with Catherine Van Dyke's testimony there. You've spent quite some time playing sports and also coaching sports. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I did a feature on it on Sunday night with Craig Carton, who's a WFAN host, and he's a big coach here, based off that subcommittee hearing last week. And, I mean, prices, the money it's costing, it's up 40% since the pandemic, but yet, yes, less kids are playing, which is crazy.
Yeah. My son is a baseball player. He plays travel ball a little bit. It's not super crazy travel ball, but there's one thing I've noticed. He's going to be 16 in a couple days. The older kids get in travel ball, the more likely that those kids are last-borns or only-borns. And to me, it's the families who can afford it or who have the time to do it, and everybody else kind of gets priced out. What do you think what direction is this taking youth sports today?
Well, I'll tell you what, if 70% of the country is living paycheck to paycheck, and then you'll do anything for your kids, a lot of people are saying, hey, you know what, I don't want them to miss out on their friends. I don't want to miss the opportunity. I think I want to see if they can get a scholarship. So, so I'm wondering, people just find a way. They would put it on credit cards or whatever they have to do to keep pace.
Mm-hmm.
Or, if it was my family, I'd have to quit. If they told me I need $5,000 for a season, they would laugh. We were paying $75 for just a register, and that was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, those numbers, it's thousands of dollars a season to participate, basketball, hockey, baseball, soccer, all these different things. Is it changed since you were coaching? Like, even in that amount of time that the prices have gone up, the expectations are through the roof?
Yeah, I think it's just in the last 5 years, I think there's all these academies. These for example, with soccer, these MLS teams all have academies. They want to make money off their youth. Now, you would think they have to be the best of the best, but now they'll go, okay, you would like to be a part of the academy, the Red Bulls, the DC United, San Jose Earthquakes, whatever it is. So you're part of that, but you realize that it's not so much it's an elite, they want a lot of money. And if you have an opportunity to go do that and play with a pro team umbrella, you go do it, as opposed to the prodigy like David Beckham, who was found at 9 years old, and they put him with Manchester United, and they actually had him go to school there because he was a prodigy. Now they have all these kids as if they have that type of talent, and I think it's delusional.
Yeah, it's a great word for it. Another thing I've noticed across sports, volleyball too, my daughter plays volleyball, is that you can have there's a ton of clubs that you can participate in. They usually have at each age level, like the premier team, premier, elite, whatever. But they have infinite teams that they will fill. If you're willing to write the check, you can play with this club. They'll call it Elite or Futures or Stars or whatever, but it's just a different name because if your check cashes, they'll take your money. Is there any sort of regulation that needs to be involved in this, or how do we solve this problem?
I saw some of the remedies, and one of the remedies was, you could put more of these recreational leagues that's associated with the town. As soon as you put like an individual in front of it, they're going to look to make money. But also, if you could expand the amount of public school teams. So, for example, if soccer had 2 seasons, instead of going to club, you stay with the school. Maybe you put 5th and 6th graders get to play for the school, because this way they don't have to go into the general population. They'll play for a lacrosse club or a field hockey club or a soccer club. But you could build it into the school. You could build some more money for some coaches. The fields are free. The travel would be free. The school knows exactly where you are. You can get uniforms for free. Be filled, be with your tax dollars. But that would make it affordable, and see what kids emerge. And they have that camaraderie.
Yeah. I've seen it too in baseball a lot. There's like a transfer portal for 10-year-olds because if you're halfway through your baseball season and you're not playing middle infield and you're not hitting 2 or 3, just go to another team. What do you think this is doing to the fun? You only get to have fun. Your job as a kid is to have fun playing sports, and then it gets more serious with each age that you go through. But what's this doing to the sport for kids who they hate it by the time they get to high school?
The thing is, I always loved like rivalries. So you lose a division, the next year you got to get them back, and then you hope to meet them in a cup game, and you just lose that because every team changes, clubs collapse. You keep moving on. You feel as though if your team's 500 and you're paying for a trainer, I don't want to be left behind. So I'm going to move on to another team and supposedly a new division that's going to be even better than that. And then if you're paying, a lot of times they don't play you. Imagine being 13 years old, you travel with the team, and they don't play you at all. I mean, I had a couple of friends that kids, they went to Canada. They go on a tournament in Canada. They don't play a minute. So they flew up there, go to the hotel. They warm up with the team. They don't play at all.
And then, then it becomes a mental health issue, not just a sports issue for these kids. But Brian Kilmeade speaking with us right now. You know him, of course. He's all over Fox News and his show, One Nation with Brian Kilmeade. I want to ask you about advice you have for parents. Like, what's the smart way to navigate the culture? Because the system is right now the way it is. So you don't want to let your kid get left behind. Where's the focus got to be?
Well, number one, I would I guess every town is different. Every city is different. I mean, St. Louis is a soccer capital, too. Yeah. But for me, I would just make it a place that you could do it affordable, that doesn't involve a lot of travel, that if the kid is really, really enterprising and really wants to play in this next team, but if not, keep them with their friends as long as possible and get them started early. I talk to other parents about staying together. I also, to keep teams together, I always would try to plan stuff after. So they go to practice, they play their 45 minutes, and they know they got to get pizza afterwards. They know they got to go for ice cream afterwards because it's friends hanging out after. Then, hey, this friend goes over this friend's house after practice. They become your friends, and you like kids with a direction and athleticism, who want to participate in things. So I always thought that was the most positive experience. Then when they get to 12, 13, try not to be that parent that pushes their kid off a team to get on a better team. And hopefully you stay with a group of kids that want to be together. And then they tell their parents that. But for the most part, I'm watching these kids just keep changing until they're 17. And they're like, I'm burnt out from this sport. I didn't even want to play in college.
Totally. That's 100% it. And if you think about, I played sports through my senior year of high school, didn't do anything in college, but my memories that I have from competing are about the people I was with, the places we went. It's not all just about the sport and my personal accomplishments. And I feel like we're stealing that away from our kids in this version.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
The teammates, I think you should know divisions. I think you should have wins and losses. But I also think the whole team should be a part of a team. The thing that's de-emphasized is all team. I want my personal development. I want to be with this better coach. I want to be with this better situation. I want better competition. Well, what about your teammates? You knew that your left back was not fast, but was really smart. You knew that the center back was great in the air, but wasn't great. Had slow feet, so you had to compensate. Those are the things that you learn about teammates. But now, if that person's not good in the air and that person has slow feet, they got a new player next week. And that's not what you should be doing at 12 and 13 years old. I don't think you should be doing it in college. I think there should be one transfer in college. And if not, you just develop, even if it takes you 3 years to be great. Wait 3 years instead of I didn't play a lot, I'm going to transfer to a new school. So it's really become a bunch of mercenaries, just taking the fun out of it.
Yeah, I completely agree. We're listening to Brian Kilmeade here on the Annie Fry Show. Before we let you go, we appreciate your time today, Brian. I just want your thoughts on 2026. 2025 saw the return of Donald Trump to office, but 2026 is going to be a prove it year for the Trump administration. You think they're going to be able to win the American people back, specifically on the affordability, the economic issues?
I think the programs are in place. They're market-oriented. I think that he's going to be coming together with trade deals, hopefully with India and the USMCA gets revisited. So we have some certainty with our neighbors, and we start bringing in some of these trade deals. The tariffs become de-emphasized. They were there really to bring the industry home. Hopefully that begins to happen. But the other stuff just being built in, the lack of of red tape. I really feel as though they're setting America up to be successful. But I am tired of the complaining. Everyone's like, well, this economy's not good for me. Well, go change it. I know politicians can't afford to say that, but I do get tired of the whining. And I do think that people got to take some responsibility for themselves, because our economy, you want to create opportunities, but you also have to create opportunities for yourself. And, it's up to you to figure out how to work into AI. It's up to you to figure out, if you rather work with your hands or go to college. And then once you work with your hands, there's going to be a ton of jobs. If you're not good at that, go to college. But when you go to college, pick a major that you want to work in or that has opportunities. All this stuff about, we got to learn to just take responsibility for our decisions and stop blaming people. And I hope that comes across this year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure to see some of these policies actually get in place, and a lot of tax return discussion and deregulation that has taken place. It will be a wild one. We'll follow you everywhere you go, on the radio here leading into this show, and of course all over Fox News. Thanks for fitting us into your Christmas week schedule here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, have a great Christmas. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.
Merry Christmas. Brian Kilmeade, always great to speak with you. Co-anchor of Fox and Friends, host of One Nation with Brian Kilmeade. I was really glad that he covered that story regarding youth sports. Of course, I talk about it a lot here. As active as my family is in youth sports, baseball is the only club that we've participated in with my son. And that's mostly because that's kind of I will add that while he played club baseball last summer and fall, my son also played in a rec league over the summer, and it was so fun. And to the extent where we had, my daughter would make, the people on the show here know about her Num Num cookies that she makes. These gigantic chocolate chip cookies, and they're so delicious. And my husband tried very hard for the recreational league that he was coaching. And it's high school kids. He's like, let's make this as fun as Little League was. Obviously, you're competing. Obviously, you're trying to win. It is rec league. Let's treat it as such so that these boys have fun every time they come to the field. They're young men, really, and want to come back again. And it was a success. They had an MVC. So my husband awarded a cookie to the best high school player at the rec league. Like, you take it so far that it's fun to be fun again. And boy, I would say travel sports, club sports is sucking the life out of fun, out of the childhood. You don't get that back. Once that's gone, once childhood is over, that's toast. You don't get to go back and relive those moments. And so much of youth sports right now has become commercial industry at the expense of, oh my gosh, the most precious thing that exists, childhood. Got to do something about it. And Brian Kilmeade was covering it. Just wanted to give him a chance to talk here for you about that specific issue. Love to talk to Brian Kilmeade. All right, quick break. More of your feedback coming in on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. In 2026, how would you like the Annie Fry Show to evolve? Do you want to hear more political discussion, more cultural discussion? Do you want more lighthearted fun, or you just want to keep it the way it is? We'd love to have your feedback today here on the Annie Fry Show. We've got one more show together here in studio before Christmas hits. Give us some feedback. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We can handle it all. We'll be right back.
You're a vile one, Mr. Grinch. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the seasick crocodile. You're a foul one, Mr. Grinch. You're a nasty, wasty.
So let's talk about the Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. Are you shopping for something still? Are you still thinking, oh my gosh, I haven't gotten it done yet. What am I going to get her? I have the answer for you. Well, not specifically. I have the location for you. It's in Clayton, Missouri, and you're going to go to the jewelry store that's been servicing St. Louis since 1910. You got to be doing something right to be here for that long, and the Diamond Shop is doing it all right. Visit the Diamond Shop in Clayton, and they have late hours right now. They're open all the way through Christmas Eve. Not all day Christmas Eve, but if you're still thinking about finding something special, open today. Yes, it's a Monday. You need to go visit Tom, Nicki, Mona, all of the amazing people at the Diamond Shop who know exactly how to meet your needs. The extended hours are there, and if you want to bring some canned goods, you're going to be able to make that donation to their food drive get a little extra off the top of your purchase. They have a beautiful in-stock jewelry available for you right now at the Diamond Shop. Go online to thediamondshop.net.
Hey, it's your main man, Jimmy Fallon, and I am headed your way. Saturday, January 24th at the Factory in Chesterfield. We are defunding the joke police. So grab your tickets at 971fmtalk.com/events, and I will see you in the loo.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio every Saturday at 2, right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
CeeLo kind of has, CeeLo makes you want to, frolic through the store aisles right now, even though it's the Monday before Christmas.
Yeah, he makes you want to do the Carlton dance.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I knew it. I don't know why I knew it, but
Walmart, little head, side-to-side action, some snapping going on.
I didn't know this was CeeLo, though.
Oh, yeah. He's the one who said, in a matter of words, forget you.
Ah.
Forget you.
The radio version does say forget you.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. Here's a story that I want to throw your way. Just tell me how you feel about this. This came through on Yahoo Finance by Victoria Visosky.
Ah, it's a Visosky?
Yeah. This is amusing to me because it's on Yahoo Finance, so it's not like from the usual Fox News, Fox Business or something. And I think Yahoo does it. They're kind of an aggregate publisher, wouldn't you say? They pull in a lot of different things and feature a lot of different stories. I guess this might have come originally from MoneyWise. Snap's stricter work rules may cut off benefits for child-free, able-bodied adults working under 20 hours.
Okay.
This could be a B or not the B. After the record-breaking 43-day government shutdown, a stretch that left about 1.4 million federal workers unpaid, disrupted food supplies for low-income Americans, and threw air travel into chaos, Washington is finally back open for business. The Republican-controlled House passed a new funding bill, 222 to 209, with 6 Democrats crossing the aisle. The 328-page package keeps most federal agencies running through January 30th and fully funds SNAP along with the Department of Agriculture, Congress, and Veterans Affairs through next September. Tucked into the bill is a major shift. SNAP will now operate under stricter eligibility rules. It's always funny for me to read these types of stories, these headlines reporting on these things, and it's really a matter of it's like framing. The story is all about framing. So when I'm reading this, I feel like it's being framed in a way that suggests there are going to be people who are left hungry because of what Republicans did. So you just keep that in mind. Under the new requirements, here is who will no longer qualify for these SNAP benefits. Any able-bodied adults ages 18 to 65 who do not have children under 14, aren't disabled, and don't work at least 20 hours a week could lose access to food assistance entirely.
That's barely even a restriction.
If you are able to work and you don't have dependents, you have to work a minimum of 20 hours a week. And if that doesn't meet your needs, your food assistance needs, then you can get SNAP benefits.
You still get benefits. So you're able-bodied, have no dependents, and you have to check one box that you're working part-time, and you can still get free food. Okay.
For people like Nelson Scott, 38 from Tennessee, the change is devastating.
Ooh, Nelson Scott.
He has no disability, no children, isn't in school, and currently has no job.
Did Vivica or whatever?
Wait. Let me take you to
Okay.
Nelson Scott's thoughts on the matter. That's some bull. That's the quote. And then it says, "Man, I'm devastated, actually."
Okay.
The question now is whether this is what accountability looks like, or if it punishes people who are already on the edge. What?
What are you talking
Do you know
about?
who's on the edge right now? The American taxpayer, the deficit, the debt. That's who's on the edge right now. Not Nelson Scott, 38, who has no disability, no children, isn't in school, and currently has no job. And his thoughts on the matter are, that's some bull sugar.
Has no disability, no dependence.
Sorry,
no
not
job,
sorry.
No, nothing, and also no ambition. And therefore, it's devastating to him.
Feed me.
Big, bold headline, who gets left behind? For Scott, the new requirements feel like a door slamming shut. Yeah, no bull sugar. His SNAP benefits, about $292 a month, cover most of his food budget. But some counter saying the updated rules are long overdue. Rick Williams, a conservative political analyst, quote, "A 15 or 16-year-old can take care of their stuff at home while you go to work. There's no reason you can't be working. There are plenty of jobs out there." Cold-hearted jerk.
How rude, to quote Michelle Tanner.
Scott, it's not Michelle. It's the middle one, Stephanie. We've argued about this
We've
before.
done this.
Yeah,
Okay.
You got it, dude. Is Michelle?
Yes.
If you had Full House on your bingo card for this one, now you can check that off. I did not. Scott insists that for people like him, it isn't that simple. As a convicted felon, he says employers rarely look past his record. So we had to get this far down to understand that he's committed and been convicted for felonies. And we know how the left feels about felons.
This is Nelson Scott still?
Yes, we should be like, in America, a felon can be the president. You can work the drive-through.
Ooh.
If you
Nice
can be
little
the
twist
president, you can work a stocking job, at least to start off, and maybe, work your way out of the convicted felon label into, he's a really good worker, and I'm glad we hired him. He said, quote, "I would get one if y'all get me one. Y'all be felony friendly, hire us." There are a lot of things being done to Mr. Scott.
Man, you know what, though? After reading the article via you, it appears to me that really what we are in need of and the deficit we have is for victimhood. We just need more victims.
I just kind of feel like 2026 might be the year where we stop pretending about worrying about Nelson Scott, who, as indicated in this article, is a felon, who he's so bothered by the fact that he can't get a job. He says he'll get a job if somebody gets him a job. That shows me that you're probably not going to be the best employee. Who should hire you if you're not even willing to do the work to go get the freaking job? But guess what? I'm also not going to participate in the funding of the food on your table that takes away from the food that's on my kids' table that my husband and I are busting our butts to try to put there. The mentality of this is exactly where this Trump administration needs to pull out all the stops to stop people like Scott from feeling victimized by this rug being pulled out from underneath him.
The author of this article had the end in mind. So she knew what article she was going to write. So she had to go find anybody that could support our pre-existing theory that lots of people were going to be affected by this to the negative, that really shouldn't be left off of food benefits. And that, of all the people in the country that she could find, that's the best victim that she could find to support her pre-existing belief. That says a lot.
Or she knows how ridiculous it is, and she wrote it in a way that was like, because to me, it's to be like, people are going to lose their food. The Republicans are going to lose their food. Who are these people who are going to go hungry? Nelson Scott from Tennessee.
Somebody just get me a job. You know, the other thing, and not to joke at all about this, because we could, but you know who's going to be happier after all this goes through? Nelson Scott. That guy is going to feel a sense of actual purpose by going out and trying to make some sort of difference in the world. No matter what it is.
I don't really think that that's true. I think that that's hopeful. But to your point, that is the direction that's his only direction for this to go. If he wants to have food on his table that he gets to pick and everything, the only direction he has is to go do what you're saying. We have to be okay as a society if this guy chooses not to do that, to be okay that it's not our problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So America is going to have to look at this and go, this is on you, bud. And if you want to be like, nobody will give me a job. I haven't tried, but nobody's walked up and given me one. But why would I get one if the money is coming in without the work being done? And what kind of felony did you commit?
Good question, too.
So as a country, we have to move past this suffering under other people's self-imposed victimhood to be like, take care of yourself, man. That's what we're all doing. We're all trying to take care of ourselves, too. Your turn. You go. You next. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Mark Cox. Can you believe it's already the holiday season? While most people are thinking about lights and gift lists, a lot of homeowners are also wondering if now's the right time to sell or if they should wait until the new year. So I'm here with Gloria Liu from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria, what should sellers be thinking about right now?
Great question. Even during the holidays, serious buyers are still out there, and with fewer homes on the market, sellers actually face less competition. When we get into the new year, listings start to spike and competition rises. But that's never a problem for my clients because I guarantee to sell your home at your price and time frame, or I will buy it myself. Whether you want to move now or after the holidays, we'll make it smooth and stress-free.
That's why Gloria Liu's the trusted choice for St. Louis home sellers. Call 314-325-6888 or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. From all of us, happy holidays, and here's to your next move being your best one.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
I want to talk to you. Calm down. Get yourself together. Civia Law, Todd Civia. If you have finished this year and you're thinking about New Year's resolutions, that type of stuff, I want you to consider getting your estate plan all buttoned up and put together. And Todd Civia is the guy to help you do that. He's a super, no heavy pressure, none of that type of stuff. When you work with Todd Civia, you are put in a position to not have to know everything because you're working with Civia Law. They know all the questions to ask. You just got to come up with the answers. And for the first 10 listeners right now to call 833-995-WILL, that's 833-995-WILL, the first 10 people to call and mention my name, that strategy session fee waived. That's a $300 value. That phone call right now, 833-995-WILL, mention my name when you call Civia Law, can save you $300. Start the estate planning process. Get your trust, your will, your powers of attorney all established with the best at Civia Law. Online at civialaw.com.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how to build your retirement on your terms.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour, Saturday mornings at 6 or Saturday afternoon at 4, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
On
another target. I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News. The U.S. military reportedly preparing to seize another oil tanker near Venezuela.
Officials say this Iranian-linked tanker is a dark fleet vessel, part of Venezuela's illegal sanctions evasion. They say it's flying a false flag, and we could get an update over at Mar-a-Lago this evening from President Trump and his secretaries of War and Navy. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem posting on X about all this, saying in part, quote, "The United States will continue to pursue the illicit movement of sanctioned oil that is used to fund narco-terrorism in the region. We will find you and we will stop you. Thank you to our brave men and women of the U.S. Coast Guard and Department of War."
And that's Fox's Madison Scarpino in West Palm Beach, Florida. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro denouncing what he calls a, quote, campaign of aggression, unquote. The Trump White House is calling 29 ambassadors and embassy leaders back to Washington.
State Department officials told the Associated Press these ambassadors and senior embassy officials were told their terms would end in January. State didn't confirm the number, but said this is a standard process in any administration and that ambassadors are personal representatives of the president. And it is the president's right to ensure he has people in place who advance an America First agenda.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Two lawmakers looking to reprimand Attorney General Pam Bondi over how the Epstein files release is being handled and all the redactions.
Republican Congressman Thomas Massey and Democrat Ro Khanna say they're drafting legislation that would hold Attorney General Bondi in contempt of Congress. The lawmakers who wrote the bill to force the release of the Epstein files say they're not trying to punish the Attorney General, but rather get the documents out for the survivors of the late convicted sex trafficker.
And that's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. A suspected cyber attack hits France's National Postal Service and its banking arm. Customer info is said to be okay. America's listening to Fox News.
Looking for something new? Try fencing, the Olympic and Paralympic sport that mixes speed, strategy, and fun. It's like chess meets cardio. Quick feet, quick decisions, and a satisfying beat when you score a point. Kids, teens, and adults can start anytime. No experience needed, and many clubs have loaner gear. Coaches teach fundamentals and safety from day one. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org/tryfencing.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
It does not feel like late December. Partly sunny skies, 55 for the high this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy, 46. Tuesday, sunny and 64. Wednesday, cloudy skies, 70 on Wednesday. Christmas Eve, 59 for the overnight low. Thursday, Christmas Day, sunny with record heat, 74 for the high. The record, 71 from 1889. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Don't freeze as it gets colder. If your furnace isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in your comfort zone fast with a service call for only $99. Get your furnace serviced. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, if you paid any attention to AmFest this weekend, the Turning Point event of the year, it's a conference, it's a speaking event. I think that I feel like there's such a small portion of our audience that would be like super hyper focused and plugged into what America Fest is. I think the majority of our audience would be interested in it. I just don't think that you spend your whole weekend, the weekend before Christmas, taking in every minute of it. But it's an incredibly cool weekend, 4-day experience, conference, festival, or whatever, where conservatives come together and speak on all sorts of issues. They have lots of different stages where people are different people are speaking about things. They have conflicting views that are being presented that people are speaking on. And J.D. Vance was speaking there. Of course, Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro, they both traded barbs on at each other over the course of the event. But since I invoked the barbs, there was another special guest.
Our vice president.
Well, do you know who that voice is? If you haven't heard this yet, do you know who that voice is? None other than Nicki Minaj on the stage at AmFest. This is, to me, this is probably going to be the most impactful thing that AmFest manifests this weekend.
On the stage with Erica Kirk.
Yes.
Not just on by herself.
No.
With this now iconic person, Erica Kirk, and the cloak is off. Like she's saying, I'm in.
Yeah, you can't be, I said when I interviewed Harris Faulkner a couple weeks ago, because Harris Faulkner was at the UN when Nicki Minaj went to the UN to bring attention to Christians being slaughtered in Nigeria. Harris Faulkner suggested that maybe I was one of the barbs, and I said I am at most maybe barb curious. I am more curious now. I don't know that I will be.
Barbs are fans of Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, it's like being a Swiftie, but not probably. I don't know. I want to hear I like the song Super Bass. I've always liked the song Super Bass. She is in that song with the person who sings, the main singer who sings it, and Ariana Grande. I can't remember who the other singer is. But it's a fun song. It's a good pop song. I'm not super into hip hop. I'm also not into like super sexualized hip hop. I don't live a life that accommodates that. But she is certainly out there speaking on issues that are big issues. There are more cross sections that I have with Nicki Minaj than I thought. Here's what she said.
I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it with your head held high and your integrity intact. He's from Queens, New York, like me. So, but what it's shown me personally is sometimes, even in the worst feeling times in your life, you think that you're never going to come back from it. But you do. And our president shows that. He's been through every single thing a person could be through publicly. Having to constantly be lied on. It's not really that funny. Until you are in that person's shoes that's being lied on, you'll never understand what it feels like. That person is a human being. They have a family who has to read those lies. And that's not, and it's just not fair. But this administration is full of people with heart and soul. And they make me proud of them. Our vice president, he makes me, well, I love both of them, but they're both.
So she goes on and has this sit-down conversation with Erica Kirk on the stage at America Fest. And I am watching everything leading up to this moment. Of course, like when she went out and spoke at the UN about the Christians in Nigeria and everything, like I thought, well, gosh, that's really bold. And I don't know that her Christianity and I know her from her job, which is everything that I'm reading about her. Now I've had to read this about her, but I've seen it consistently in many places that she is the queen of rap. She is known as the most successful female rapper of all time, maybe, but certainly at the height of this moment in time. Nicki Minaj is not somebody who's trying to make a name for herself here. She is not coming onto the stage at AmFest in an effort to cut through and have people learn about her and know her. And the thing about everything leading into this moment, she had seemed to me to be very much so like kind of like a pot stirrer, willing to go out there on X and post something on X that would get the people going, that would get people talking, that would, of course, bring in the droves of people on X that are Trump supporters, and then the algorithm just goes crazy, and you bring all these other people in who know nothing about your music but love what you're saying here right now. Like, is this a marketing game that she's playing? And if she is, she's playing it smart. So I don't know what I'm here to judge her on. But when she went and had these conversations with Erica Kirk on the stage, it took away any question that I had that she was serious about the things that, yes, were absolutely stirring the pot on X. That she is thinking her own thoughts, and she is articulating her own beliefs without anybody coming in and saying what she means is. She's owning it. She is who she is. She thinks the way she thinks, and she is unafraid, courageous in being willing to go there, to say these things out loud, and then to go in like the most hyper-conservative place you could be at an AmFest stage. It's incredible to me. And I'm not usually like roped in. I don't believe what I believe more because Nicki Minaj said it. I have mad respect that she said it, and a wider lens on how I'm viewing her and probably anybody in Hollywood or in the entertainment world, willing to open the aperture on the lens that I have right now to think maybe I shouldn't just throw the whole baby out with the bathwater. If it's entertainment, if it's music, if it's movies or TV or whatever, those people are all that. Maybe they're not.
It is such a huge step for her because it's a demographic, honestly, that Republicans have struggled with even recently. Black females do not vote Republican very often at all. They just don't, by the numbers. And she is maybe one of the biggest influencers in at least that demographic. But what she's saying matters too. And I don't know that everybody who's heard this news knows exactly what we just played, but what she's saying is much deeper than just politics. She's talking about a cultural shift. She's talking about the character of the people leading this charge, which is saying a lot more than just, oh, I want to lower taxes, so I'm a Republican. You know, I mean, that's important. But she's talking about MAGA. She's talking about the people in charge and how she really likes them and admires them.
I'm going to add in here, too, this comment from Robbie on our YouTube stream says, I have no respect for rappers who rap about filth. You're not a role model. I don't think that this is about being a role model. I don't think that this is, I don't think that we're sitting here looking at Nicki Minaj going, oh, I can't wait to show my 13-year-old daughter Nicki Minaj and what she said. I want my daughter to be just like Nicki Minaj. I don't think that's what Nicki Minaj is asking for.
It's just like anything else. Like, let's say you voted for a politician in the past that you were like, lesser of two evils. Let's say you voted for Mitt Romney. Did you agree with everything Mitt Romney did and said?
Yeah.
Of
or
course
Donald
not.
Trump.
Or Donald Trump,
like
for that matter.
Do I want my kids to grow up and be as philandering as he at least put himself out there to be when he was a real estate tycoon who paved everything with gold and was surrounded by beautiful women? I mean, really, it's really quite interesting that the rap industry loved Donald Trump so much pre-politician Donald Trump, because there is a lot of earthy consumerism that is celebrated by both of those cultures. They exist in this earthly world that we live in. And just because somebody does something that isn't necessarily of the virtuous path with which I would want those people to serve as a role model doesn't mean that they are insignificant or unable to have a perspective and a point on life.
And you've been saying this about even Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro. you can listen and agree with 75%. You don't have to endorse literally everything that person has ever done.
Yeah.
Which is the same with Nicki Minaj.
Here's another quick clip that I wanted to play, and this leads into what I think is going to be a huge 2026 story.
You had some fun words for Governor Newsom. I have to read these tweets because they're amazing and they are so funny. Okay, first one. We'll do this one. Unless you want to read it in your own voice. I think it'd be really great. Okay.
Oh, Gabby Poo, it only gets worse from here for you, buddy. It's the end of the road for you, my love. Get on the nearest jet ski and let that beautiful hair blow in the wind. It'll make you happier than this race that you will not win. Enjoy life. Peace.
Okay. One more.
Why not? Imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. Haha, not even a trans adult would run on that. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. Not Gav. The Gav nots. Gav not in. Gav out. Send in the next guy. I'm bored.
Gavin Newsom is not going to be Mr. Nominee for the Democrat Party. He's not going to be it. Gavin Newsom's main attraction for people who talk about politics right now is that he's as obsessed with hating Donald Trump as they are. And that's it. He doesn't offer a solution. Right now, he offers the next hit, the next I hate Donald Trump TDS hit of whatever it is he wants to spoon feed the people who are needing that. Those are not real problems that real, actual people trying to get into the Oval Office are trying to fix. Those are political problems. And Gavin Newsom wants to be the foil for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the foil for Gavin Newsom. And when Nicki Minaj is not arguing with you, when Nicki Minaj is making fun of you, mocking you, and your whole presentation, the wavy hair flowing in the wind, you're cooked, buddy. And I think he knows it. He's going to have to milk these last days that he has because he's not going to be the governor of California any longer. His next step will be one of two things: try to be in the Senate or try to be the president of the United States. He could potentially win a Senate seat. He will not be president of the United States. Please don't put me in a montage after he wins the presidency to be the United States president.
The other thing that I've mentioned before, that this is kind of like a low watermark usually in a presidency, this moment. This isn't bandwagon time. This isn't usually when people jump on and go, yeah, I'm a part of that. That's usually during a campaign season or at the high water mark. Even when you hear celebrities, you're like, oh, did Woody Harrelson say something? Did Jamie Kennedy just say something? When you're looking for it, she's coming out in the middle of a moment where it's just not that time.
Well, but... yes, nationally. It is that time in California because they have a governor race coming up. But that, to your point, Gavin Newsom's not in the race. California, what they do next is a referendum on the Gavin Newsom fingerprints that are all over the destroyed, beautiful state of California. I always think about Illinois has so much to offer. In the Midwest, we are prime position on the Mississippi River, right in the middle of the country, to be this flourishing place where businesses flock to, because you can do business in the Midwest probably a little cheaper than you can on the coasts. But the Democrats can't get out of their own way. In California, Gavin Newsom is going to be a huge effect on who they choose to be the governor next. I just wish Illinois could come to the same conclusion as well. We'll see. Ethan, Sports and Local next on the Annie Fry Show.
And in despair, I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said. For hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Stewart's American Mortgage on the Bagel Loan, 314-324-4440. That's 324-4440. The bagel loan is a really, really smart financial move. But if you don't want to take my word on it, talk to Stewie about it. Even if it's just kind of an inquisitive phone call or text message to say, Annie talks about the bagel loan. Are there really no closing costs? Where did the closing costs come in? What piece am I missing? Scoop. There are no closing costs. He does not roll them into the loan. You won't have to deal with them. He takes care of them for you. But if you're looking at a brand new mortgage on a brand new home, use a bagel loan. If you're looking at a refinance on your current home, use the bagel loan. You'll get that mortgage. You'll get the low rate you're going to qualify for, of course. And then you're going to pay nothing to close that loan. Those closing costs don't exist. I've done it twice myself. I've experienced it personally. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate mega stores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the mega stores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Grandpa had a soft spot for dogs.
Yeah, he always had treats in his pocket.
He said if you're going to take care of people, you better take care of their best friends too.
Is that why we help dog shelters?
That's right. For every service call, we donate 10 pounds of dog food to local dog shelters, helping dogs waiting for a home.
Grandpa would like that.
He sure would.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. We're back with more truth. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Hold up! Check it out.
Sports and local.
Ethan's Region.
Well, that's pretty boring.
Yeah, it is.
That's what they say, Ethan.
That's what they say.
That's the rumor.
I was specifically...
Ethan, are you awake?
Referring to the... No, it's on my eye. I was specifically...
He's crying. You hurt his feelings.
Yeah, usually a little more
He
creative.
hurt his feelings.
Usually give me a little more
Did you hear
time and
Ryan's
attention than that.
diabolical chuckle after that played?
I like the ones that just stop.
He just went, yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. Busy Sunday night for the St. Louis Cardinals. Wilson Contreras is a Cardinal. No more.
2 L's.
2 L's, yes. Thank
Not our
you.
problem
Appreciate
anymore.
That. He's not a son of Will.
You gonna miss him?
Very much so.
He was the life of the team. It seemed like, Yachty was very similar to that. Like whatever was going on, it was 100%. He had emotions about things. I appreciated that.
Very passionate. Wore his emotions on his sleeve. Played the game the right way. Successful on the field. Did whatever he was told. The Cardinals in 2023, when they first acquired him, were going to move him to the outfield. And he was he handled it like a pro. He got moved to first base last year. No complaining.
Where's he going to play for the Red Sox?
Hasn't been announced yet. He'll probably play mostly first base.
Is he done catching?
Not necessarily. During the winter meetings, Marmol was asked about that, if he thinks that he would catch again. And he said that he thinks that he would, depending on the team he gets traded to, if there's a need for it. I'm not sure if there's a need in Boston. Right now, they do need a first baseman, as they have a young prospect that's still rehabbing from an injury that he endured last year. So he's going to play some first base, may platoon a little bit there, DH. But yeah, this is a guy that played the game the right way, had a lot of success in his 3 years in St. Louis, and I'm sure that the clubhouse is going to miss him. I certainly am going to miss him. I never had a bad interaction with Wilson Contreras, was always kind, always great with the media. So yeah, the Cardinals trade away Wilson Contreras as well as $8 million with him, and they get three pieces in return. The first one, the most notable one, being right-handed starting pitcher Hunter Dobbins. Dobbins is going to be expected to be a part of the Cardinals' starting rotation next year. Last year, his first season in the majors, did pretty well in his short sample size. Started 11 games, had an ERA right around 4, and then unfortunately had kind of a freak injury where he was going to cover the bag at first when it was being fielded by the first baseman, and when he stepped on the bag, he tore his ACL. So that was last May, and so he's been out ever since, but he's expected that he's going to be good to go for the start of spring training, which is a good sign.
Here's a question for you, Ethan, from a listener. It's a statement that I'm turning into a question from my Fritz 11. Why does it seem like a lot of former Cardinals end up on playoff teams?
I mean, there's two answers to that question. Right now, while the Cardinals are selling, it's because we are in a state where we are not buying, we are not adding, we are trading away good players, and other teams are giving us prospects for them. That is what you do when you are a selling team. You trade your better players, and they go to teams that are trying to compete and contend for a playoff spot, a World Series.
You're suggesting that the people who want our better players are already in a position to be in the playoffs, and our good players might be something that helps them get across or compete deeper.
Correct. That's the first part, the now answer to that question. If you're referring to, some of these other guys that the Cardinals have moved on from in the past that have gone on to have really good careers with other teams. Obviously, the notable one was when we traded away Randy Arozarena a couple years ago, and he ends up going on the epic run and getting to the World Series with the Tampa Bay Rays, winning the American League Championship Series MVP. There certainly have been cases like that in the past, and I would argue that at times it was poor front office management where, sometimes you take gambles in trades that you make. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose and you tip your cap, but it felt like there was definitely a period of time when there was, it felt like quite a bit of, getting the worst or the worst side of a trade being made. That's not where the Cardinals are at right now. Where the Cardinals are at right now is different because they aren't trying to buy. It's more concerning when you're trying to buy. And
is this an exciting time for you, or is this like a? Because I think people who aren't watching the hot stove, the day-to-day right now, that it's just kind of it feels like a bummer. Like
no, it is.
For you're like super plugged in. Are you hyped right now for the Cardinals, or not quite yet?
This time of year is fun because, especially when you're, even if you're trading away guys and it's probably going to mean that the season's going to be bumpy. For me, it's exciting because I'm looking into it as, okay, how are we investing in our future, and who do we hope, who are we going to be keeping an eye on as to who will be a part of that? That's where it's exciting for me. Hunter Dobbins, Brandon Clark, some of these guys that we've traded for in the last several weeks, I look at them and I say, okay, how are they going to contribute to our long-term success? And that's more so where I get excited for in St. Louis for a long time. We heard the talk, but we didn't necessarily get the walk as to, hey, we want to compete for a world championship, but that wasn't necessarily happening. Chaim Bloom, the new president of baseball operations, was very honest about where the organization was and said, this is what we need to do in order to get back to being a championship team. Unfortunately, it's not going to be all smooth sailing leading up to that, but they've said that they are willing to sacrifice short-term success in order to hit their long-term
Predict
goals.
It right now in 2026. Ethan, how many games do the Cardinals win?
Oh, man, I would probably put it somewhere around 75 is a pretty realistic spot, 75, 78. I would be very surprised if they were an above 500 team. But that doesn't mean there aren't things that you can't be looking forward to. They're going to have some really highly regarded prospects that are going to be up with the Major League team in 2026, including, I expect, J.J. Weatherholt, the number 5 prospect in all of Major League Baseball. There's going to be some pitching prospects to keep an eye on. So the season is certainly not lost. There's definitely going to be important parts of this year, continued development of a lot of your young guys. But it's definitely not going to be a year where the Cardinals are looking to be contending for a playoff spot.
Below 500.
I would be surprised if they were not below 500.
In 2026, do the Blues make the playoffs?
And so this upcoming year.
This season.
I'm going to say no. I think that they're just so injured right now. The reason that I don't think that we're going to have a part 2 of last year is because everything just kind of worked out perfectly for them to go on that run. They were healthy at the right times, and they have so many key injuries, right? Key players that are hurt right now and are going to be hurt for the next 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 months, to where I just have a hard time believing they're going to be able to climb themselves out of this hole before the trade deadline. I think that they're going to sell off a couple of pieces probably at the deadline.
Brad, your thoughts? Do you think he's right on the Cardinals and the Blues?
I think he's definitely right on the Cardinals, and I think he's right on the Blues. Except for I would say I don't think it's actually injuries. I think that they are I think they were overestimated in their skill and ability.
There's probably some of that.
And their cohesion as a team. When I watch Blues games, I see a lot of missed passes, like assuming somebody's going to be in a spot and they're not there. That is a cohesion issue.
I think my hope was that some of that, as the season went along, was going to get better, and it's not having that opportunity because of injuries now.
Yeah, Ryan, do you agree with Ethan?
No, he's wrong on both fronts.
Yeah, give us the better predictions. For the Cardinals next year, how many games?
Cardinals over 120 wins next year.
That would be a major league record.
At baseball?
In baseball. Now they're not going to play other sports. Now if you want me to do football Cardinals, we can do that in the next
Blues,
segment.
No, I don't. You don't even have to prep.
Okay. Good.
Blues playoffs 2026?
Blues playoffs 2026 for sure.
In?
Yeah, they're gonna make it, and they're not only gonna win the Stanley Cup, they're going to
not only
win the World Series.
not
beating the Cardinals.
They're gonna win the World Series, and they're gonna win every game for the rest of the season.
Okay. Did you listen to Ethan's commentary?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Okay. Well, I want to. We always need to make sure you feel balanced.
Now you got both sides.
Both sides of that issue. All right, let's discuss the YouTube live chat poll when we come back. In 2026, how would you like to see the Annie Fry Show evolve next year? I'm going to open the phones. Is this a dangerous thing to do?
Yes.
Should we do it?
Yes.
314-241-9797. We're asking, do you want to hear more political discussion, more cultural discussion, more lighthearted fun, or do you want to have it stay the same? In 2026, how would you like to see the show evolve? I'm going to ask Ethan to hyper screen phone calls. So if you want to get on the phone with us and chat on the air, 314-241-9797. We're only taking the good calls, though. So give us a call. You can text us there as well. We'll be right back.
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
RulerFoods.com. Save on your grocery shopping this holiday season at Ruler Foods. By virtue of shopping at Ruler Foods, you're going to spend less on your grocery cart than you are at other places. Sugardale butt or shank portion hams, just 99 cents a pound. Delicious and affordable. You can stock up on your favorite drinks with Coke or Pepsi 12 packs. Buy 2, get the next 2 free. Stock up on that soda for your parties, for yourself while you're at home trying to pump that caffeine to get all the wrapping done and everything. You can also stock up on baking essentials like Kroger 4-count butter sticks, 2 for just $6. If you are looking for savings on everything grocery, you're going to go to Ruler Foods and you're going to find them all over the place. The name brands that you love. They also carry Kroger brands at those Ruler Foods prices. Celebrate the season with low prices on everything you need. Hurry into your Ruler Foods today. You can find yours. Throw that zip code up there on the website and see which one is conveniently located for you. RulerFoods.com.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
What if you had a plan to build income outside your job? At Lifestyles Unlimited, you'll learn how people are investing in real estate to grow their income and make smarter financial choices one property at a time. Right now, join us for just $297. That's a savings of $443 off our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
I'm going to give you the YouTube live chat poll right now and try not to sneeze at the same time. Is anybody else getting a cold? Because I'm not. I'm not saying I am. That's all. Okay, it's in 2026. How would you like the AFS to evolve? That's the Annie Fry Show. Would you like more political discussion? Would you like more cultural discussion? More lighthearted fun? Or you want it to stay the same? Those are the options that we gave you in today's poll. Lots and lots and lots of comments on this poll. I'm going to pull up one here from Jim. He says, I live in Wentzville, but I'm from Ohio. Love the show every day. Working keeps me going. Love you guys. Great. Now, if you want to call in with criticism, that's okay too, because we are opening up the phone lines right now. Of course, we love the praise. That's fine too. 314-241-9797. That also happens to be the text line where you can text into the show, but we are opening up the phones for calls. 314-241-9797. Give us a call and let us know what you think about the show and about the poll. 237. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Midwest Made. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Now is a good time to remind you that we are going to have an amazing Christmas special set up for you. We've done this every year. I think 2016 was the first year that I did this, and it was when I was doing Saturdays. And Saturdays, my show originated in 2016, Saturdays 5 to 7 p.m., and I basically took over Christmas Day. We kind of made Christmas an opportunity for us to play music that maybe you didn't hear all day at, I don't know. By Christmas, aren't you sick and tired of some of the same songs over and over and over again? Like the mainstream ones.
Yeah.
There are a lot more opportunities and ways for you to listen to Christmas music in 2025 than there were in 2016.
Yes.
A lot more mainstream ways. But you're used to the same thing over and over and over again, and you're almost done with it. We wanted to pull in some of kind of an eclectic mix of music that we like. A lot of Christian stuff, certainly. The holiday is a Christian acknowledgement for me, certainly, and for us here on the show. But then also anecdotes, highlighting different types of movies that are classic Christmas movies, so that we wanted to create an atmosphere for you where you can tune into 97.1 starting noon on Christmas Eve. So that would be Wednesday. And we're going to just be your friend until it goes through Christmas, like 6 p.m. maybe?
Does it go the whole day of Christmas or up until 6? I don't know the answer to that.
It's going to, but I mean, you're basically going to be accompanied by us. It's commercial free.
Uh-huh.
It's it's basically everything. I know I'm supposed to say this, but the reason why you don't listen to music radio is because of all the interruptions and stuff. That's not what we're doing. We're basically going to be your friend throughout the course of Christmas Eve at noon through the holiday so that you can have us with you. It's not something that if you know, most people will be like, oh, you're going to have the family over. You're not going to turn 97.1 on. Well, I mean, some of you are. Some of you would turn it on and be like, what is all this friendly crap going on here? Well, that's the Andy Fry Show Christmas special.
Yeah, we do interrupt the songs at the very end of each one with more songs.
Oh, yes.
And with merriment.
Mm-hmm. There are a few things from the Christmas special that I carry with me at all times, and one of them is Ryan Wiggins singing Fantasy by Mariah Carey. And you might be wondering, Annie, how does that work? You'll have to listen to find out. But Ryan does this like mockumentary, retrospective, kind of like old VH1-esque biopic on Mariah Carey.
Right.
But it's really, I actually think every year when I listen to it, I actually think we're going to get sued.
Yeah, we're all kind of waiting for that. I did add one a couple years ago. I usually add something. The one that I added the most recently that I think has made its way back consistently, because sometimes I'll just swing and a miss, you know. It just sucks. Like, yeah, that ain't going to air again.
Sometimes. That's why I'm always on the edge of my seat.
Right. But the Chipmunks one, where I explain writing a letter to the Chipmunks, that one I think has endured as well.
I am thinking about bringing my kids in today or tomorrow. We have one space, like a lot of the stuff gets reused every year, and so we try to build it and grow it. And I've asked Jensen, and she said she would come in and talk to me about recording the Luke 2 thing that she recorded when she was 4.
Oh, it's a behind the scenes.
She's 13 now.
Oh.
And like, if anyone starts reading Luke 2, it will start in those days, Caesar Gus. We all go, in those days. And we just say like that. And then there's a part in the scripture where 4-year-old Jensen was sitting in the studio. I can see it right now. If you haven't heard it yet, you're in for a real treat, because the way this works is I had my 4-year-old daughter, as I said, who's now 13 years old. She sat down in the studio with me. Again, I was doing Saturday shows at the time. And I had my Bible open, and she was facing me, and I would say, in those days, and she'd go, in those days, and then I would just give 3-4 word increments of the whole thing, and she just repeated after me. So she wasn't as a 4-year-old reading scripture, although that would be cool. That's not really what happened. But she just repeated back to me whatever I said, and then I edited it together and made it part of a Christmas special.
In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration when Quirinius was governor of Syria, and all went to be registered, each to his own town. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth, to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. And while they were there, the time came for her to give birth. And she gave birth to a firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling cloths, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for him in the inn. And in the same region, there were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And the angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord showed about them, and they were filled with fear. And the angel said to them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find a baby wrapped in swaddling cloths and lying in the manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among those with whom he is pleased. When the angels went away from them into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go over to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has made known to us." And they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in a manger. And when they saw it, they made known the saying that have been told them concerning this child. And all who heard it wondered at what the shepherds told them. But Mary treasured up all these things, pondering them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they have heard and seen, as it been told them.
Oh, I can't start playing it and not play the whole thing. So she's 13. Inside that teenager is still that sweet little girl with a little of her mother's sass now, feeling emboldened to come out, and I'm very proud of her. So I was thinking about maybe bringing her in and talking to her about that experience. She also texted me that she's listening right now. So hi, Jensen. You did great.
Is she gonna give you the rundown of like how tough it was and what
don't
it's
know.
been since then?
I don't know
what her life has become.
Yeah, maybe I should have you interview her. All right, before we take a break here, I want to get to a couple phone calls real quick. We're asking the question, in 2026, how would you like the AFS, the Annie Fry Show, to evolve? Dale, thank you for calling the show. Your thoughts? You want more political discussion, cultural discussion, more lighthearted fun, or stay the same? What do you think?
I appreciate you guys. I think you should leave it just as it is. I listen to you every day.
Well, thank you, Dale. I appreciate that. Even Ryan Wiggins? We shouldn't change anything about Ryan Wiggins?
Well, maybe.
Dale. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, Dale. Thanks for calling.
Merry Christmas.
Take care.
Dale's talking about my salary, too.
Oh, yeah. There's still something.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks, Dale. Appreciate that.
Another point for a salary increase for Ryan Wiggins. One more. Tim, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. How do you want to see the Annie Fry Show evolve in 2026?
Well, I love your show. I listen to it every day as often as I can, often call in, and you guys let me talk. So that's a plus.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And so one of the reasons why I tune in and love your show is because your faith comes out in the show. And so not only do I get the feeling of what's going on in the world in St. Louis, but then I get to see examples of good faith going on. Which means I try to get my kids to listen to you all the time.
Do they?
No.
How old are your kids?
Is it because of Ryan Wiggins?
Unfortunately, no. Because that could be corrected.
That's true.
No, they're one of them is a little left leaning.
Yeah.
And so my thing is, if I can get them to listen to you guys, then hopefully some of it rubs off on them without me yelling at or talking to them.
You said yelling first for going with that one, Tim.
I'm sorry, that slipped.
Tim, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for making us a part of your day. We appreciate the opportunity to be a part of it.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas to you as well. I thought you were going to get hung out to dry there. You didn't?
No, I didn't. Although maybe, like if the ratings could improve by getting rid of me, they would do it like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
This text says,
I wouldn't let them, Ryan.
I think it's your faith-based ideology that truly differentiates your discussion, so please don't skip that. Love the mix of serious and lighthearted talk, among other things.
Anybody totally roasting us?
There's little criticisms, but they're mostly in the vein of, I like what you're doing, I'd like to see more of this or that.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about those when we come back.
Okay.
If you want to roast us, are we okay with that? Can we handle it?
I'm not, but you can roast Annie.
If you want to roast me, 314-241-9797. I can take it. How do we do better in 2026? Tell us. We'll be right back.
Singing deck the halls, not like
AirComfortService.com. I don't know. I'm supposed to tell you, like, if you have an emergency and your heat goes out and you need it fixed right away, call 314-513-0091. But this week, maybe if your AC goes out and you need them to come out, they'll come check that too. Do you know it's supposed to be in the 70s on Christmas?
Yeah, you got to get your Freon filled.
That's so okay. Sure. Air Comfort Service. For $99, a licensed technician will come to your home and do a thorough diagnostic check and test of your system. I do think it's supposed to get cold like right after Christmas. I think January is going to set in a true January fashion. Regardless, put this number in your phone right now, especially if you're taking care of mom and dad, if they're still living in their home and maybe they're by themselves. If you need to have somebody come out and do a check on your system and get it going right away, you want Air Comfort Service because you can trust Air Comfort Service. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091, 24/7 emergency service, and that $99 service call when you need them. They will be there. AirComfortService.com.
Wishing you a very Merry Christmas.
It's Dana Lash. Thanks to the 97.1 FM Talk listeners for a great 2025. Wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
From all of us at 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, Jeff, looks like your business is really booming, even in a tough time for businesses like ours.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, thanks to LendSeek, our business was able to take care of some outstanding bills and taxes and to purchase inventory and expand our product lines.
Wow. You know, my business needs working capital, but only from a reputable company that I can trust and count on. How does LendSeek work?
Fast and easy. Just apply at lendseek.com. Their AI lending platform gave my business access to over 100 funding programs with one simple application. And it costs nothing to apply.
At lendseek.com, you can receive business funding with no collateral, no prepayment penalties, and no restrictions on how you use the funds. Whatever your funding needs are, seek no more. Our AI lending marketplace has you covered. If you've been in business at least 1 year with annual revenue of at least $250,000, you could get the funding your business needs in as little as 24 hours. There's no obligation, so apply today at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Said the night went to the little lake.
I see the wrong words. I think I said a cuss
See
word.
what I see.
I went to say shepherd and then said little, so you can go know where that goes.
Do you see what I see?
Give us the bass.
I
think I could do bass better than this.
I don't know the words.
She's a bass.
Of this famous song.
Just repeat what she just said there. Tail as big as a kite.
With a tail as big as a kite.
Get that chin down in that chest, Ryan Wiggins.
See, I'm not quite a true bass.
All right, welcome back. Man, that conversation that we had of you telling that story of being one of 3 people that were bass in the choir, I play that for my family at home, and it might be the funniest story you've ever told.
That's so crazy. Because my stories are pretty good, and that one wasn't that great.
Your stories are all about you playing jokes, making comedy happen. That story is about it happening to you.
Maybe that's why it's better. Maybe you know what, though? The story about me playing dodgeball last year and falling straight on my face in front of literally the whole crowd of people in the stands that were playing the game also is definitely not me creating comedy for the sake of myself. That was embarrassing. I can't believe I've never told that bass story, though, because the only thing I remember about that whole concert is afterwards my brother going, hey, that was great,
Your
buddy.
brother's the real hero of that story.
Yes.
He's the one who sells it. Our YouTube poll for the day in 2026, how would you like to see this show evolve? You want more political discussion, more cultural discussion, more lighthearted fun, or you want it to stay the same? If you hustle over to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, we have votes coming in there, and we'd love to know your thoughts on it. A few comments here I'm going to read from the YouTube. You can text Ryan at 314-241-9797. He's got some there. Damon says, more lighthearted fun. Lori follows that up with maybe a bit more lighthearted fun. Brian said, I really enjoy the mixture of how it's going right now. Here's a longer one from Jim. Do not ever use acronyms again. And this is something that I do if I'm interviewing somebody and they're, like foreign policy or something, and an acronym or a term gets thrown out. If you're like in it, you don't realize that you've lost a lot of people because you're speaking shop talk, essentially, with acronyms.
They don't know what United Arab Emirates is when you go, well, it's in the UAE.
The UAE, maybe. And so I think that's good advice, is to say things more clearly and not as much what I would call shop talk. Remove that song that says, I'm not America's sweetheart. Annie is America's sweetheart. Yeah. Number 3, teach the basics of conservatism repeatedly. You would be shocked at some of the folks listening who are trying to understand conservatism and come from bad homes and life experiences. So teach. And then regularly include historical examples where conservative principles have worked in America. You got one or two to highlight there from the text side?
I'll read a couple of more criticism. They're a lot of praise, but this one says, don't wander in the group talk. Keep it more focused. Caleb says, focus more on conspiracies, cover-ups, UFOs, and Bigfoot.
Don't wonder, though. Stay focused. If you want to send more of your feedback, and it could be personal and more thoughtful, it can be criticisms, that's fine. Go to the Annie Fry Show Facebook, send messages there. They come to me. My husband can see them as well. Just keep that in mind. The YouTube poll results for today. How would you like to see the Annie Fry Show evolve? 58% of you voted stay the same. Thank you for that. That's very kind of you. Now let's get to the criticism. More cultural discussion, the one I wanted to do, 9%. Loser. Okay, got it. 14% said more lighthearted fun, and 19% said more political discussion. Give us your feedback. We would love to have it. There's also a feedback form at AnnieFryShow.com. Mark Reardon next.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
There's so much more to retirement than saving money. Sherry Greco-Rikis of EP Wealth says you need to think about where you will live and whether that location will fit your lifestyle.
Do you want to live in a city? Do you want an urban culture? Do you want more of living in a farm?
Once you do find a place to live in retirement, she suggests trying it out before you buy a home.
Maybe rent for a few weeks.
I'm Rob Hart.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-393-4600. That's 800-393-4600.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy, weight gain, or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they